a man takes his very young son, horse, its belly and round its looks at his hooves and feels round its legs and things like that. And the young son says, "Daddy," says, "Your son, why are you feeling the horse all around?" He said, "Well," he said, "I've got to do that." He said, "To find out if there's any medical problems that it's got before I buy it." "Oh dear, you're not going to tell Mummy, are you?" He said, "What gives you that idea?" "Well, when you left for work yesterday, our neighbour came in and was doing exactly the same to Mummy." Do you like that?
Yes. Well, it's always nice to start the show off in a manner
smart
that we probably expect it's going to carry on in. So, yes.
That's right. Well, this week I'm on a different computer, and you can see a different view behind me. It's not all blurred. It's my bathroom. And,
that's great.
Yeah, so I can see it get out of the way. That's my bathroom with a nice plant in there. And,
well, Aunt Sally's going to feel really at home then, what with you in the bathroom and everything, because she's probably in the bath right now.
That's right. And between you and I've done it to outshine Aunt Sally, you know. Look at my bathroom, because we're comparing smart bathrooms, you know. You can tell a man and you can tell a woman by her bathroom. Anyway,
yes.
Before we go any further, we're going to have some nice soft thoughts, and I can't find me tinkly music, but we'll have some soft thoughts. Our Transport Minister, Paul, his ex-girlfriend's mother has been into hospital today for a nasty operation, so we'd have some nice peaceful thoughts and healing thoughts to her. Yep. Plus, we're all rooting, or we're going to root for Edward. What's his name now? Brothers, based on because he is at the moment on charges of a thought crime. He said something naughty, so there we go. So let's all think.
Who said something naughty? Who said something naughty, Eric? You broke up a little bit there. You're fine now, yes, but who was saying naughty
Monica's
things?
Brother.
Yes.
And
Alfred.
Yes, he said, that's the name, Alfred. He's going to court this Thursday, and they might release him or they might not.
Well. Looks like I'm still coming through, but am I coming through?
Hello?
I don't know.
Yeah, you're coming through, but I don't know what happened there. It just shot off. And it seems that even though I've got my super duper latest computer running StreamYard, and I've rebooted the router before we came on air, it's still showing a low signal, but my router's showing a high signal. There's something weird going on, and this computer is cabled. It's not Wi-Fi, so there's something going on.
Yeah, there is. You're okay now momentarily, but your sound's been a bit patchy, and everything's gone a bit. You know when you get the Dalek voice.
Yeah. I had to speak Japanese. You have to. Was it suffer from chilblains and constipation? So, you know that's how you speak Japanese. You see. So and welcome Patrick. Patrick, all the way from this is our cheese ambassador, last Zulu outpost of Wisconsin. Evening, Patrick. Is he there? Well, he was there.
He is now.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're a little bit. Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, hang on.
I just wanted to let you know that on Soapbox, it sounds terrible.
Oh, thanks.
I'm picking it
That's
up
great.
for
I wonder
Holy Land
why.
Radio, and yeah, I just wanted to let you know I'll probably join a bit later. Just thought I'd give you a heads
Thanks for
up on
telling.
that, Paul.
All right. Thanks, Patrick.
Yep. Cheers.
There's something going desperately wrong with all this. I really don't know what's going on with StreamYard. Since I've updated it, it's gone tits up. And it drops out the signal and it comes into the signal, drops out. Now, I've got full signal strength now, so I don't know what the hell's going on.
Okay.
But I'm using a up-to-date computer. It's all wired through. My router's showing full signals, but it just keeps showing no signal on here. I mean, I'm okay now. And will be all right for as long as we can keep our fingers crossed, and there we are.
Yeah, well, I'll check the signal. Don't worry about Soapbox. I don't know what's happening. I think it's all interconnected in some hideous way. Yeah, I don't know why, but it is.
Yes. Oh, it says device not connected. It says on Soapbox now. So I don't know what's going on.
What for you?
What's what it says yeah. Something about, was it tits? Oh, it's connected now. Not tits up anymore.
It's exciting, isn't it? Aren't technical problems just the most tremendous fun?
Yes. And I've got my technical trousers on tonight as well. I actually sewed them up specially for tonight. So there we go. So that's a shame, isn't it? So what possibly go wrong? Anyway, I've got a full signal strength now, so let's keep hoping everything's all right, what it says, Tinkle says, it's tits down now, from now on, Eric.
That's good of him.
Yes, that's good.
That's good.
Barefoot Foreigner says, don't believe in Lion's Gate. Okay. I think it's part of New World Order, one religion. But the astrology is definitely insane at the moment. Okay. Yes, can I have that translated, please? Don't believe in what's Lion's Gate? I don't know. Do you know what it is, Paul? Any ideas?
No.
So
no,
please,
I don't.
So please speak English. Like the old Indian. Do you know the Cowboy and Indian films? White man speak folk tongue. That's why he eat fish and chips. So there we go. Hang on, what is it? Paul says it is day 216, Obama's birthday. So could be related. Is it really? Now, Paul has said, you sound like you're on top of a mountain, Patrick. Yes, he did do, yes. But, that's strange, isn't it? And good evening, Marlene. Good evening. Anyway, it's all going well. Now, last night we spoke about some weird things happening in town centres, i.e. them being dug up and loads of cables being put down very, very deep. Anybody else in chat has seen this in their town centre? Something weird, strange, odd? Another thing, loads of helicopters flying over. Have you noticed an increase in helicopter flights? Paul?
There was one last night. I saw one last night here, all lit up at a strange sort of time. I don't know why, but I did. That would be about, towards the end of your show, actually, about 11:30. One flew by the house, quite low, all lit up. I mean, we get them every now and again, but I never know quite what they're up to. All seems a bit weird.
We get Chinooks come over, and there's an air ambulance that sometimes parks in a field near where I live, and it clears off for some unknown reason, probably an exercise thing, whatever. I don't know. Barefoot Foreigner said, Marlene referred to the Lions Gate portal, whatever that is, 8/8. August isn't even the 8th month, is it? October equals 8. Right. Okay. Paul says there's loads of roadworks in general, but I agree there are lots more helicopters, indeed small planes too. That's right. And religion is about astronomy. 12 disciples equal 12 zodiac signs. Very interesting. We could go into that area. But before, do you want to hear an Elvis joke? Anybody?
Do I
Elvis
want to
joke?
hear an Elvis joke?
Yeah, an Elvis
go
joke.
on. Tell me an Elvis
Well,
joke.
when Elvis was alive, the Pope at the time, I think he was Polish, wasn't he, you see? And he goes on a tour around America, and people keep thinking he's Elvis, because he had a little bit of a resemblance to Elvis. I said, Elvis, how are you? I said, no, I am the Pope. And this Patrick will like this one. And anyway, he goes on this tour, and everywhere he goes, hello, Elvis. No, I'm not Elvis, I'm the Pope, you see. So eventually he goes into this hotel that's been booked for him. He said, look, Elvis, we got some groupies upstairs in your bedroom. He said, but, somebody said that you're not Elvis. He said, the one for the money, the two for the show. Sorry. That's a bloody beyond the bark shed joke, isn't it? Yeah.
That's very good. That's very good.
That is extremely funny. But anyway, what's it? Air ambulance. It says here, the air ambulance is probably trying to avoid Harlow, Chris, because it would be on eBay for sale. That's right, Harlow. Yes. Has anybody been to Harlow? Have you ever been to Harlow, Paul? It's it's a delightful place.
Sorry, I'm just dealing with some technical problems here. There seems to have been a knock-on effect from the first thing, so no one's hearing it on Soapbox. Don't worry about it, Eric. Just carry on. If I'm a little bit quiet for the next minute, it's because I'm busy.
Don't worry.
I'm listening. I'm just not talking too much.
I fully understand. Now, it says here, Sue Sparkle says, there seems to be digging up most of the streets in Blackpool at the moment. That's strange. And Marlene said, I guess they're either tuned in to it or you're not. I guess you're either tuned into it or not. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I am. Oh, Marlene says here, hang on, I'm getting this all in a bit of a back to front. It is between the 26th and about the 12th of August, but peaks on the 8th, and the energies are tangible. Are they? What do you think? Ought to eat more prunes? Could that be the problem? I don't know. But they're talking about, have you seen that film Zeitgeist? Now, Zeitgeist was out 12 years ago, 15, no, probably longer than that, about 20 years ago. And I think it was controlled opposition, personally. It's very good, but it's controlled opposition. Because the fella that was into it was to me, he gave me the impression he was a communist. We could do without money. And he's talking all about what the New World Order is saying.
He was a commie.
He a right commie. And the other one, propaganda. Now, Dave Starbuck said to me, got a film here, propaganda. It's been smuggled out of North Korea. Really? Yeah, it's a good film. Yeah, I'll send you the CD. So he sent me the CD. And, Marlene says, I saw Zeitgeist. It was brilliant. Yeah, it was. It was cleverly done, don't get me wrong. But the chap who did it, I believe, was commie. Was very, it's very communist, I think. Communism, FTW, probably. What's FTW? Yes. Anyway, what I was going to say, money can't buy you love, Eric. No. But let's put it this way, if you're depressed, it gives you a more happier depression, doesn't it? No, I agree with you. Money can't buy everything. Zeitgeist, Marlene says, Zeitgeist woke a lot of people up, though. Yes, it did. But I was going to say about propaganda. Have you seen the film Propaganda? Because you couldn't. It was very. Hang on. Yes, it was Peter Joseph. That was a bloke who did that. That's right. And there was another chap. Very true, Eric. Yes. Now, what I was going to say is Dave Starbuck, the late Dave Starbuck, he said, look, I'll send you this CD. He said, it's pretty hot, not many people have got it. And he got hold of one of the first copies, you see. I put it on. And as this chap speaking, it's translated from Korean, you see. It's this bloke speaking. And I thought, this is bloody interesting from North Korea. And I was really taken in by it. It was bullshit. It wasn't made in North Korea. It was made in Australia. And it wasn't sort of a bit hot, this CD. No, it was distributed. This fella had this brilliant idea of making out it was from North Korea so that more people could watch it. It was clickbait. But it's a bloody good film. And yes, probably, I think you can see it on YouTube now. And the poor sod that acted as a Korean, because he could speak, he was from South Korea, he went through it because he lived in a sort of community of people from Korea in Australia. And he really got in the back of the neck, you know. It was really sort of, yeah, shame. Yeah, that was it. And, oh dear, Soapbox is still not connected. What's happened?
It is now. It is now. I've just checked it. So apologies to Soapbox listeners who've been just listening to me and Eric talking like Daleks on speed. But I've just checked it now, and I've no idea what happened, but I've made some miraculous changes, and I've put on a new pair of trousers, and I think the trousers have fixed it. So I've just been checking it out, and I think it's working okay. And
yes, I think with
yes,
that's good.
It is.
Yes. I was so worried. No, I won't go into my I've got brown trousers on, so just in case, you never know. But we won't go into that. No, what we was talking about is strangers to the truth, politics. Can you understand, Paul, why people still talk as if politicians are going to change things? Do you understand it? Because I don't. I just lose track of it. Oh, Farage, you know, if he gets in, it's all going to change. I've seen one of his speeches. Do you get that around where you live? Do you get people sort of, you know, do they read the Sun newspaper or something? I mean, what is it? Are they all Sun readers?
No, I think it's just habit, really. I think it's habit. Yes. I mean, it's probably lots of other little things as well, but it's habit. Like coming out of a very established sort of rhythm to life and space in terms of the way people conduct themselves. They think, well, you know, it's the voting period or something, or we're going to get a new government. And maybe if you're young, you can be excused. Oh, I do sound like an old fart when I say that, but then I am an old fart. And
I'm an older fart than you as well.
Yes.
Only by a couple of years, yes, but I'm an older fart than you. So.
Well, I like it. I like to hang around people. It makes me feel young. I'm always looking for, I need to make some more septuagenarian, octogenarian friends. What do you call somebody who's in their 90s? A nonagenarian. What are they called?
I don't know. There's a centenarian.
In their 90s, I suppose.
It's just 100, isn't it? Centenarian. So, yeah. Because I
thought it was a centurion. But I think it's habit, Eric. I think it's kind of a habit. It's used. It's like being used to things, and the whole of the sort of space it's a big theatre production. It takes a long time to really see that, because apparently everybody speaks with such tremendous sincerity, and they really are going to do these things. But I was just talking after I spoke to you this afternoon, and we had that wonderful conversation about sticky toffee pudding and all sorts of other things. A friend of mine, because I've actually got one, I've got a couple, but not too many, just sent me something over on WhatsApp. We ended up having another long conversation. I didn't come off after I'd finished talking with you, I got another call, finished at 7:30, just rushed around, put my trousers on, and there we go. But he was telling me that a pal of his, an accountant, who's pretty sort of high up in certain circles and things, I've never met this chap, who knows, maybe one day I won't, was telling him that 90% of all politicians have never had a proper job.
I agree. I believe that. I believe that.
90%. And I know you've mentioned here before about the fact that we are ruled by these supposedly overly educated, impractical people, but that really lays it bare. They have no idea and no connection, which is more worrying. They probably do have an idea, but it's likely to be wholly incorrect about what it takes for normal people to actually survive. Forget the word thrive right now. That's right out the window. We're not doing any thriving while these jackasses are in charge. And of course, there's several ways to not have them in charge of your life. And I think politics is a case where people think, oh, these jackasses have cocked it up. I'll vote for some other ones who don't look like jackasses, and I'm going to pretend that they won't be, but secretly in the back of their mind, they know that they will be. They're going to be useless. Because I'm hard pressed to think of any period at all when they were much use. It's all theatre and drama. I know everybody either loves or detests Margaret Thatcher because, she was doing the things that she did. And you could look back at it and go, well, there's some good out of that, and there's a lot of bad that came out of it. But the bad that I see that came out of that space is not I just think it's this sort of the amplification of me-ness and the sort of obsession with money, which has gone on and on and on and on and on. And then that sounds as though I'm arguing against individual enterprise. I'm not. I'm really for all that kind of stuff. In fact, I think it's not possible to live without at least having some enterprising genes or moments in your life. I think for most people, it gets beaten out of them as they get older. But it's just very difficult to look at them and say, would we have been better off without them altogether, being governed locally? And then when there is a national crisis, then you have to convene some kind of special super committee. The military or something is really all I'm thinking about. It turns out that the French have got all uppity again and want to, revive the wars of the Middle Ages. And we might have to do something. But we live in a very different world to that. So I'm talking sort of poppycock. But yeah, I just think it's habit. People just assume that they're going to do that. And most of the chattering classes, of course, I guess we kind of fall under that, but we're on the periphery, thankfully. But the chattering classes that talk about all this stuff, they have a vested interest in it carrying on because they get paid to be journalists. And whether they know it or not, they're continually pumping the drama. And everybody's focusing, in my view, mainly on the wrong stuff. They never get round to actually sorting out the foundational issues. It's always about the drama on the top. And, of course, this does engage everybody's attention. People get sucked into that. They go, if I vote for the blue party, it's going to be great because the red party were really bad. And some people go, no, the green party, or whatever colour it is. Yeah. And nothing really fundamentally changes.
Correct.
And it hasn't done for a long time.
Why don't we play Change Bingo? Now, with Change Bingo, you listen to someone like Nigel Farage, and in one of his speeches, you count how many times, or you guess how many times he's going to say change, because he does it. This is the change that we need, and this is the change I'm putting forward, because they've got to change, and our party will definitely put some change into this. So can't someone give me a few bob, saying, yeah, mate, here's your bleeding change, But Obama was full of the words change, and so is Farage. So I'm wondering if it's a sort of a medical problem where they can't speak for longer than a minute without saying change. This is the change we definitely need. I've noticed that a lot.
Yeah, I think it's like a subliminal. People just assume that means a positive change. I mean, they do change things, but generally for the worse, because most of them haven't had a proper job now. 90%. Whatever we might mean by but at least 90%. A position of figuring out what businesses actually have to deal with, which is basically the predatory practices of the bank mainly. And then, of course, this causes businesses to sort of sail close to the wind, as it were, or close near to the edge and all that kind of stuff. And you just get all this mess. They are incredibly impractical. They're like very cocky students who don't know much. And there are students that know a lot, actually, but these are kind of like the worst of the bunch. Really, they're the most tiresome and exhausting and tedious and dull, and very few of them communicate with any conviction at all. And they're not convincing, just as human beings. I mean, what's his name? Ed Millipede. I mean, the guy is basically certifiably stupid. He's just plain stupid. Sure. And stupidity is really scary because you can't convince the stupid that they're stupid, can you? Because they're stupid.
That's right. He looks
how do you deal with that?
He looks like the kid at school who was forever picking your nose. Take your finger out of your nose, boy. When you look at his nose, he sort of always... there was a kid like that when I was at school, he was forever picking his nose, so...
Yeah.
And the teacher once said, "Oh, you pick a winner."
Hey, did your teacher really say that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I hope you pick a winner. Yeah.
That's good. That's a good teacher. At least you picked up a good one-liner there. You learned something.
Yeah, that was a good one. And we had French taught to us by a Cockney. So it's called blimey, s'il vous plaît. Yeah, I mean, surely you'd have a French lady teaching you French. No, and that's why I can speak it so.
Yeah, great.
So
Cockney
beautifully,
French.
Yeah, Cockney French. Yeah. Bonjour, mate. That sort of thing. But now, baby with a laser says there is loads of volcanoes going off in Russia at the moment. I didn't know there was any volcanoes in Russia, is there? Must be.
Oh, yeah, they're everywhere. Well, I saw. Yeah, apparently there are. I think we have to use the word apparently all the time.
Or allegedly.
It appears that they are. Well, or allegedly. I saw some pictures saying. I think it's one, a big one that has not gone off for 700 years or something. Because the bloke that was last around, he was telling them when it went off 700 years ago. That's the first time I remember when I was a kid, 745 years ago. Because they live long in Russia,
Yeah.
That had gone off. Yeah, apparently something's gone off. Is this a sign of the times, or is it weapons, or are we all supposed to get... It's something else to worry about anyway, so you can put that in your worrying pipe and smoke it. Let's worry about that then.
Worry of the week. Is it going to be the reversal of the poles, or nuclear war, or volcanoes in Russia? Boom, boom, boom. And apparently, among loads of others across the Grove, going to be a bad snowy winter. Yes, I remember the winter after St Helens blew its top was a terribly tough winter. It's snow and ice for months, and because it blots out a lot of the sun and it gets a bit colder, you see. So that's interesting.
When you said reverse the poles, you weren't talking about the Polish people, were you?
Well, we could do, couldn't we? Could you please go? The trouble is that all the delivery firms will have to close down because it's mainly driven by Polish people, isn't it? Oh no,
is it?
Because
a lot of builders out there. We've got a nice Polish couple actually, a husband and wife team doing some gardening work for some neighbours. They're very nice. I like talking to them every day. They're great.
Yes,
really good people.
They're nice. I used to work with one that used to F and blind all the time, and he was. He was actually in the was it RAF during the war, but he'd escaped from Poland, and he actually went on the what was that one? He was on the 1,000 bomber raid. He was on that one, and he actually went into Dresden, and I don't know what wave he's on, but he said he actually saw cars rolling around and trees being torn up. He said he's never seen anything like it. And when he felt the bottom of the plane, they were at 15,000 feet, because when they go over the target, they have to, they try and rev as high as possible to get as high as possible because of the flak afterwards. And he said the bottom of the plane was hot with the heat of the flames coming up 15,000 feet. He said he's never forgotten it. He said and the sights were horrendous. He says because normally when he went on a bombing raid, he was in Lancaster's, I believe it was, the pathfinders would drop flares for where you had to drop your bombs. He said, now how you didn't drop bombs on other planes, he said, it's a miracle, you probably did. But he said, and that's another reason why you revved your engines and got high in case some other bastard drops bombs on you accidentally. And he said,
from above you. Yeah, that would be really, really distressing, wouldn't it? Flying all that way just to be friendly fire, take you out. But it probably happened, unfortunately. Probably happened.
Yeah, it did happen a lot. There's pictures of it happening as well. And he said that it had something to do with convected heat. He said it was quite a sight, but a horrendous sight, horrific. It's like going through to hell. But he said you do need the pathfinders. He said I think it's 20 miles away, you could see the flames leaping up, and he was quite, something. But he said the only casualty he ever had on all of his planes was a pigeon. That a pigeon that they I don't know quite why those transported, but he said a bit of shrapnel went through the side of the plane. It killed the pigeon. He said that's the only casualties.
Oh, yes, poor pigeon.
Poor pigeon. But no, it's interesting. He used to F and blind like anything, and his fingers were all yellow where he used to smoke roll-ups because you could smoke in the office in those days. Effing this and effing that. People that just joined when it would start. He said, "Who's that?" I can't remember his name now. Jack, I think it was. And he said, "He's swearing at me." He said, And I used to say, well, don't worry. If he swears at you, it means he likes you. If he doesn't, it's when he doesn't swear at you, you got to worry. You know, where you effing, what effing, I don't know this, effing that, effing this. And it'd be fantastic in a meeting because you'd be sitting there and you'd have all these sort of like posh structural engineers sitting there saying, oh, yes, I think this will go through here. I think the effing pipe should go effing there. You know? I used to actually walk around in his house slippers. He had street shoes and house slippers, and in the office he used to walk around in house slippers. That's strange.
Comfy.
Man.
They're comfy, aren't they? They're comfy.
And his wife, the amount of accidents he had at home because he didn't get on with his wife. She was always nagging him. Poor sod. You know, goes through all the bombing during World War II and comes back. And apparently, the Red Cross traced his wife in Poland and got her back from Polish law. I'm sad they bloody well do this because I don't get on with her.
Right. Jolly good.
So I've been through World War II. The bloody the effing Red Cross found her for me.
Oh dear.
Poor sod. I can say this now because he's probably long dead, you know. I mean, bloody hell, he'd be over 100 now. But I've never forgotten that. He used to do all the overtime because he didn't like going home. He used to do all the overtime imaginable. Yeah.
I know, it's funny. I'm kind of overly... I don't like that as well. There's a bit of me that's pathetic, really. I just hate the idea of husbands bad-mouthing their wives and vice versa. It's just... Yeah. It's not proper, but it does go on. So you've got to laugh, ain't you? But...
well... He had injuries, lots of injuries on him. He'd actually... she was nagging him so much to fix a wire that went to a table lamp that if he got to unplug it and almost electrocuted himself. So, then he had, was it bandages all over his hand one night because she was nagging him again. He actually cut his hand with a knife. And it was so bloody Nora. How many sod? But... I shouldn't laugh because the poor sod went going through hell, you know.
So he got through World War II, but domestically he was getting killed and shot at every day, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think he's probably better off in World War II than he was in his domestic life.
Send me back on a bombing raid. I've got to live with this woman. Yeah, unbelievable.
But now Paul says Elton John apparently quite likes watching bombs dropping, or words to that effect. And apparently, so Hachi says, apparently Yellowstone is rumbling. That one would do it. Yes, it would actually. It's been rumbling for bleeding years, hasn't it, at Yellowstone? Now, hang on, we got a Nathan warning. Attention. Hi, mate. I'll be joining shortly. Just sorting a few things out first. Hope everyone is well and in good spirits. Yes, we certainly are. So Nathan's
just sorting a few
us.
things out is basically shorthand for I'm stuck on the toilet. I can't get off. Come on.
Did you
I'm
see
feeding
that?
you the lines. I thought you'd jump in there with that one. That's obviously what's going on. Oh, he's having one of those Labrador dog toilet roll moments where there's, right, you know, it's all gone. It's gone bouncing down the stairs. He's in bloody hell and he's shouting up there, I've got to get on a show. That's what's going on.
Apparently... In the Chancery during World War II, there was a line of toilets, line of cars in the basement, you see. And of course, they're very nervous because of all the bombing and that. Yes. And Hitler comes running down the stairs, says, Goebbels, are you down here? From one of the trucks, yes, I am. He said, there's a crisis up here. He says, there's a blinking crisis in here and all. Sorry.
Eric, why don't you? I think what you should do is expand that theme, right? I'm not aware that there have been any books written on that period of history, but seen through the point of view of toilets. In other words, the whole of you could actually do a whole catalogue. Stalin's toilets, you know, what was going on? Did he keep a diary there? What did he do? Did he write notes? Or did he just drink vodka? There's Goebbels, there's Hitler. Churchill, of course. Of course, Churchill probably didn't need to use the toilet that much because they had that jumpsuit made for him.
That's right.
Didn't they?
That's right. Because he was incontinent.
Yes. He was incontinent, Yeah, he did.
Drunk so much they could actually get him out of the suit and wipe his bum and then get him back in the suit again. so incontinent.
That's a rather terribly descriptive thing you just stuck in my head. Don't do that again. That's worrying.
Yes, no,
it's
it's a bit,
in the
isn't it?
show.
It's
It
like
is.
the
Of course,
sign-
it would destroy his marvellous reputation, wouldn't it? I mean, you know
Oh,
that.
crumbs! So we will, But the thing is that we see these great leaders. Oh, is it great man? But they're they're just egotistical bastards. That's all. All of them are. I don't know of any, great leader. When you find the truth about these people, like Abraham Lincoln. Yes, Abraham Lincoln released the slaves. Bullshit. Total bullshit. The man was horrible. The only good thing he did was introduce the greenback dollar, which was debt-free money. But that wasn't even him. That wasn't
he
his
didn't really
idea.
do it. He didn't really. It came from one of his lieutenants, didn't it? One of the
That's
military
right.
guys that was with him. I mean, the little thing that he wrote about money, it's only about 4 paragraphs, is pretty good. A, because it's only 4 paragraphs and covers all the key points. And he's right. But when you actually look at what he was doing, he was basically seeking to centralise as much power and control as he could. And everybody seems to associate that with capitalism, but I tend to more commonly associate it with communism, actually. Centralised control of all things, including political power, is the way that they go about things, because the fundamentals of the idea are so crap. Communism is such an idiot's philosophy. And I know you get all these sort of left-wing liberals, and you probably get, what's his name? Who's the beardy weirdy who's not the head of the Labour Party anymore? Who's going to be? Oh, I can't remember.
Corbyn. Jeremy Corbyn.
Corbyn. Yeah, Corbyn's sort of 4 sheets to the wind on this stuff. He's actually quite a sincere guy. It's just that what he's sincere about is complete dung. They don't understand how human beings work. They're all systems guys. They go, look, we've come up with this system. If we all do this, it's going to be perfect. Yeah, but people don't behave like that. Well, they're going to have to. No, hang on. Just a minute. Back off, right? They don't want it. Yeah. I don't want it. Normal people don't want it. It's only weirdos like you, spent your entire life in university, not having a proper job, that seems to think that this is a great idea. Don't you get it?
Yeah.
Dumbo. They don't get it.
And
if only communism was
shitholes.
tried properly, it was work. How many more hundreds of millions of people do you want to kill before you get it? It's a.
But they all live in shitholes, city shitholes. I think Corbyn, he lives around Camden, Hackney or somewhere like that. I know he lives in a shithole, and they all do. The ungracious leader at the moment, he lives in some shithole in London as well. They're just obsessed with living in shitholes.
Speak your mind, Eric. Don't hold back. Go on, really.
Yes,
Let people know how you feel about these people. Don't be cagey. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
But, the thing that gets me about them, though, where do they get their money from? Where do they earn their money? How do they? I mean, they acquire a huge amount of wealth. Where from? Very rich.
Patrons, I would expect.
Yes.
Backers, Churchill had his backers. They were called the Focus, weren't they?
Yes, and also there was that gentleman in the. Oh, it's ever so nice of him. In the city of London, Charles the Lapel, whilst I'm talking about Churchill, who actually paid off all his debts and financed him getting back into politics. All from the goodness of his heart. Of course, he didn't want any favours, would he? For doing that, doubt it, wasn't it? I can't remember the bloke's name, but anyway, he did. He was a financier, isn't he, in the from the city of London?
You're thinking of Wally Cohen, aren't you?
Yes,
Head
I
of
think
that
it
big
was.
industrial thing. He was one of them.
Yes.
He shoveled 50 grand into his bank account. That's when you could actually buy something for 50 grand. I just spent nearly that amount going out and doing shopping this morning at the supermarket, So, but back in 1930s, you could get quite a bit for 50 grand or whatever it was. They just ploughed money into him. Yeah, they did.
Crumbs. Yeah, but of course, all from the goodness of their heart. I mean, they wouldn't want any favour, anything done for that, would they? No, of course,
nothing.
Because I'm so innocent, And now this is an interesting one. Barefoot Foreigner went on a protest where Piers Corbyn was openly a Pied Piper. Yes.
But isn't Piers the one that every now and again says intelligent things? He's at least opposed to climate change as a complete gobbledygook nonsense that it is. I think he's repeatedly defended the truth on that, which is, that it's complete nonsense. He's total nonsense.
What's the word? Was it climatologist or something? He is
very
qualified in astrology. No. What is it? Meteorology. That's it. He's qualified in meteorology, and he
Right.
apparently he can accurately predict the weather far better than the Met Office, and he's proven to have actually have done that. So he's quite a clever bloke. Anyway, I'm going to show Americans now how we switch lights on, because our switches go the opposite way round. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Just one moment, and voila! I switched the light on, and I haven't got the lights worked out, so I've got a halo on my head. So.
The halo's nice. That's good. It's a sign of saintliness. Well done.
Yes. So, what was it? Godliness is next to cleanliness in an Irish dictionary. So there we go.
Mm-hmm.
So all the Irish are switching off now. Now Paul says, what is it now? Today you can get a tin of peas and some cornflakes for 50 grand. Sorry, today you can get a tin of peas and some cornflakes for 50 grand these days. Can you really? Now Marlene says, I met Piers Corbyn and he's a decent guy. He came here to Shropshire. Yes, you knew Mark Windows. Yes. Now, Asperger's Fudge said, Piers is a full-on tin-foil hatter. I know him. Do you? Yes. I know he has an office in South London, and he actually gets his money from, I believe, from advising farmers, because his weather forecasts are so accurate. So, he does know his stuff. And he said that, I think it's CO2. If you imagine the height of Big Ben and the thickness of Pigeons' poo on top, that is how much CO2 is in the atmosphere. So the thickness of Pigeons' poo on the top of Big Ben Tower, it doesn't affect us at all. It's nonsense.
Well,
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Corbyn, if I got that wrong.
But that's twice you've mentioned pigeons, which is quite interesting. One that got shot, and now they're poo on the top of Big Ben. But of course, without stating the bleeding obvious, which I'm about to, CO2, trees love it, don't they? Don't trees love carbon dioxide?
They pump
and don't they
CO2
give us back,
that's right,
in a fair exchange under the Creator's natural laws of existence, oxygen? Don't we breathe that in? It's amazing. Do you think that these sorts of things that they come up with are purely designed to see how much crap people will accept before they actually sort of speak up against it? Oh, and we'll tell them everything now. Tell them that we've got rid of round tyres because they're dangerous. We're going to replace them with square ones. They're actually a bit slower, slow everybody down, and we will save on environmental pollution and stuff. There's no end of ill thought out. Mind you, if you look at, like we said, if you look at the calibre of the people that are acknowledging these ideas and championing them, then they're not really very good. No one would employ them in a proper job anyway. That's probably why they've never had one.
Well, if you've got the sort of propaganda departments and the social engineers together, and they wanted people to believe that, shall we say, the Easter Bunny actually exists, they would put out all the newspapers, Easter Bunny's been spotted, and people would bloody believe it. I'm positive 30% of the people under mass formation theory would believe that the Easter Bunny exists. That's how gullible people are.
Are you saying, Eric, that the Easter Bunny doesn't exist?
I'm sorry to break that news to you. By the way, we've just been joined by Nathan. Was it Nathan Lucius?
There's no need for
Falkham
that,
Hall,
Paul. I heard
propaganda
that. You
minister.
name there is like, I'm joking.
No, there's no Easter Bunny. I'm sat. Yeah,
there's no Easter Bunny. Oh, by the way, what's your title in Falkham Hall, Paul? We haven't got one for you. You see, we've got the transport minister in chat. We've got our propaganda minister here. So what? You see, we haven't got a title for you, have we?
I think maybe keeper of the president's cats or something like that, or cat juggler to the king. Yeah,
cat juggling. Yes,
vole strangling expert. Yeah. Something that's really critical to the well-being of all the people of the nation, something that they would never forget.
Yes.
I don't know, really. I'll have to
what
think
about
of a proper one. I've avoided.
What about
it,
the Falkham Hall equivalent of CIA? So something I don't know. Hang on. We got.
There's only one of me.
FIA. Falkham Hall Intelligence Agency.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there's any intelligence in our agency. I mean, even from the propaganda point of view, we're pretty stupid over here. Like it's.
Yeah.
I mean,
Head of the stupid agency.
Propaganda.
Yes. Patrick's just come in. He said Ton Leher died this week. Did he? He's gotten on a bit. He was in his 90s, wasn't he? He wrote a song called Poisoning. Oh, yes. Poisoning the Pigeons in the Park. And with a little bit of luck, we'll get a squirrel too when we're poisoning the pigeons in the park. Sorry. That was the words. We're poisoning the pigeons in the park.
The cats get the pigeons get the squirrels, but it's the other way around. I don't bloody know. I'm just talking bollocks at this point, let's be honest.
Never mind. But it was a very, very interesting show last night, wasn't it? With I think we proved that we can have a civilized discussion where people are opposed, have different views, but they've got time to reflect their views, and nobody is going to be rude to them or anything like that. And this is what I want to prove.
Switched off, mate. I mean, obviously, I had to turn the camera and the mic off before I started insulting people. Oh, sorry. The camera's on. Shit. I mean, it was great. It was wonderful. No, it was. To be fair, it was an interesting one.
It was interesting, and Patrick gave a speech, didn't he? He gave quite a good speech, and he thought that he got off air, and he hadn't. And he was sitting there listening to it. He said, I've just been booted out of the studio. No, you haven't.
Oh, I was still there. He was on it.
Yes, it was great. But by the way, what's it like up where you are? Are they still digging up the pavements and things like that?
Oh, they are, but I thought you were on about the weather there because.
Now, what's the weather like? It's
sunny for once. Up here, it's like we get it once a week maybe, and then the planes are out and they fill the sky full of shite again. So we've had a day and a half.
You do look as though you're reflected in the glory of the sun right now. We can see it sheening off the side of the right hand side of your face. It's quite good. It's all drab and dreary down here. It is with me anyway. Is it with you, Eric? It's quite drab and dreary.
Yes, it was drab and dreary, but it's going to be nice tomorrow. So they say. But have you noticed that the weather forecast is continuously inaccurate because they're frightened, they're shit scared that if they get it wrong and they're going to get sued or something. I don't know, but they're always hyping it up. Like the other day, they said it's going to be ferocious winds, and there's going to be gales and thunderstorms. Just pissed to rain general brain for about an hour, and that was it.
It's windy. I mean, it's probably why they're not spraying, because apparently they're like their tinfoil theories. Apparently, they're definitely chemtrails, by the way. But apparently they can't spray when it's windy because it goes in the wrong area. Although really? I don't know how that works, but I've noticed that whenever it's windy, it's not. They tend not to spray. So we've apparently we've got some kind of storm out there, which I mean I don't think it's quite a storm, but it's blue skies and sunshine. Right. I'll take it, and it's warm. So
I caught this little brief 45-second weather update the other day. Listen to this. This is more in line with the sort of weather reporting keeping I want to keep here.
Starting in the southeast, where it'll be a misty day tomorrow with a droplet density of about 50,000 per spherical inch. That's roughly as if the mist were hugging the ground like an over-affectionate and rather damp dog. Over to East Anglia and the Midlands. It'll be a warm day tomorrow, about 20. That's the sort of warmth you might feel on a January morning walking into a heated drawing room after chopping some wood. And finally, into the north of England and Scotland. A strong and highly long-lasting day tomorrow, with hail aimed vertically downwards from above, and there'll be a 30% chance. The summary then, breezes. And that's all the weather.
There you go, that's all you really need to know.
And actually, we got a name for it, Breezes, and we got a name for you. It says, Paul, you could be the Falkham Hall audio radio technician. Fart for short.
You know that Paul's riding around on a bus with a pencil and a piece of paper writing these things down, isn't he? This is what he's doing. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if I want to be known as the fart. I thought that would have been an acronym more up your street, really, Eric. What's that? That's the pencil.
That's the one. He's doing it without a Falkham Hall Wonder pencil as well. So there we are. So,
I mean,
there it is.
the thing is that we've got to consider, Paul, is that, I mean, obviously, Paul's acronym is shit. So if he's shit and you're the fart, doesn't that mean that you're the residue of Paul? You are the,
I'm beginning to notice.
I'd be quite offended about that.
I hope, I'm beginning to notice a sort of theme here. If it's sort of leapt out at you as well. There's a bit of a sort of toilet humour theme going on here.
Can't imagine where.
But I do think, Eric, a book, famous toilets from World War II would be really I'd buy a copy. Yeah,
Well,
and if you didn't like it,
people.
you could always use the paper as toilet roll, couldn't you?
Well, I am still writing a book about bullshit, seriously. Because you see, if you want to look up how to spell a word, you look up a dictionary. Want to have different sort of words, you look up a thesaurus. So why can't you look up a book on bullshit? So if someone's bullshitting, you go, oh, just one moment. Oh, it's page 35. And you can sort of look at that type of... Because what is bullshit? Bullshit, this is, I've said in the foreword, is artificial truth with an expiry date. And the better the artificial truth is, the longer the expiry date, you see. And that's what bullshit is, really. And when you look at it as free entertainment, people pay good money to go to the theatre, and someone's doing it. They're like a theatre for you. So you should actually applaud and look at it like a theatre critic. And go, yes, if someone's bullshitting you. See, so there we go. Yes, I've looked into.
Isn't there? Can't you take a degree in that at university?
Well, bullshit. Yeah, bullshit, you do. Yeah, they're all bullshit. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe they all get that, with extra bullshit merits all the way through. Yeah, absolutely. That's good. Yeah, an honorary bullshit degree.
Now, Aunt Sally says, laugh out loud. It always gets to toilet humour, especially farts, with Eric von Essex. Yes, I trust you're sitting in a bubble bath this evening, are you, Aunt Sally, after eating some beans, maybe? I don't know. Do
you think it's the case?
I come online and you start talking about farts. It is me. It's just the effect, isn't it? Really?
No, I don't think so. No, don't take it personally, Nathan. I've been here half an hour. It's never stopped. 50 minutes we've been. It's just non-stop. It's every episode, and this is why everybody tunes in. I'd like to ask a semi-serious question. Do you think toilet humour is more in the realm of the male than it is the female? I tend to think that it is.
Yeah, I would say so.
Do you think it's repulsive to women that we talk about these things? Women, ladies out there, write in and say, will you stop banging on about toilet humour? I'm just trying to get you on this side to just, haul Eric in a little bit. I know it's virtually impossible to do such a thing, but there we go. Maybe you want more of it. I don't really know. I'm just slightly sensitive. I haven't got a clue. And I think ladies might be sort of going, really? More toilet humour? Is it not going to end? It possibly might not. I don't know.
I'll tell you what happened to me today, because it was one of those things where I looked and I thought, did that just really happen? So I was stood in a queue for a coffee, and there was two women in front of me, and one of them just farted, and they looked at each other. And I'm thinking, did that just happen? They looked at each other as if just and they had a little giggle about it. I'm just like, thanks for that. Yeah, I'm right behind you. Thanks.
Women laugh.
I'm thinking, did that just fucking happen here? Is it? Oh, I'm on
That's true, Paul.
Now. We're just not allowed to say anything truthful. So that you won't get demonetised for swearing. Only if you say things that the government doesn't want you to say.
That's right.
All right. We're good. There you go.
Women laugh at farts as much as men. So there we go. But not exactly if you do it in their face.
How would he know? Do you know Paul? Does Paul really know? I mean, is he a good witness for this sort of thing? We've got to hear from him. I think we really need to clear the air on farts, to be quite honest.
Well, there's at least 3 women in the chat.
Much confusion.
Right? So I think we should have a vote. I mean, is it immature of men to discuss toilet humour, or is it welcomed? So there we go.
It is. I think both, actually, Nathan. I think both. I think it is immature and it's welcomed. Do you think, I remember it's part of that thing of always putting ourselves down, which I love, by the way. I think it's a national characteristic of basically, deriding both yourself and everybody else that you're with. Most of our humour is basically a very polite and charming way of insulting one another all night long at the bar. That's really what it's all about, isn't it? And so, it seems to get into the toilet area pretty quickly. Well, it does round these air parts.
Here, yeah.
The thing is, I can't remember for the life of me in what part of London it was, but I did a very short contract. It was only about a week, I think it was. And round the corner to where I worked was a joke shop, quite a big one in London. Is it in Holborn or somewhere? I can't remember where it was. But anyway, I went in there. I was looking around, and there's a top posh bloke. He had this list. I'd like some a whoopee cushion, some fart spray, please. And I got the giggles out to walk out the shop. And this bloke reading out this big list. Yes, how many fart spray back in the shop? Yes, okay. I'd like this. I'd like whoopee cushions. And I mean, I don't know what he's going to go use them for, but they used to have fart spray. But what I had, because my brother-in-law, he was very sort of like this, and whenever you went to see them, I pull up outside their door, and they come to the door. My brother-in-law, like this. So I used to sing "Happy Days Are Here Again," sort of just to take the piss, basically. And one Christmas, I went over there and I got an old aerosol can that was empty, and put on the side "Happy Atmosphere," and I started spraying around. And that's it now. Miserable sin they were.
I mean, if somebody's going to go to all that effort to get the whoopee cushion and the fart spray, why not just do it properly and have some sprouts or something? If you're going to do it,
yes.
You might as well just own up to it, But,
I think, Eric, maybe to get this out of your system once and for all, fat chance there. But what I was thinking was, because of your encyclopedic knowledge and permanent returning to this topic all the time, not that I mind, I wouldn't be here. I do understand that it's the underlying sub-theme of the show. But why not? Those books that sell at Christmas that are why don't you do Eric Von Essex Encyclopedia of Toilet Humour?
Yes.
I'd buy it.
What about...
You could see it. It'd be one of those gifts that everybody would give.
Yes.
To sort of adolescent boys or their girlfriends or their grandma or something like that. Toilet humour throughout the ages. You could have historical sections. You could just make stuff up about when Queen Victoria cracked one off, in front of Albert and stuff. And you just make this stuff up. It almost caused a national incident and things like this. The Peace Talks in Vienna in 1853 were almost destroyed when Lord Ferdinand blah, 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 almost destroyed the atmosphere with a terrible anal report.
You've heard the story about the Queen. This is serious. It's supposed to have happened. I don't know how true it is, but I think it's a shaggy dog story, but it's up to the audience to work that one out. And that is in the early 50s, soon after the Queen had been crowned, I think it was some geezer somewhere, I don't know, some foreign place, some foreigner came over. And then the open carriage, you see, and they're going through London, and the horse lifts up its tail and lets out this enormous fart, and the Queen says, "Pardon?" And this foreigner sitting next to her said, "You are so polite, you English. Before you said pardon, I thought it was the horse."
Are you telling me, Eric, look, even in that, you've just got to put it all into the encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Or you could set up or why not, instead of Chat GPT, set up Fart GPT and it's Eric's AI. You just interrogate it about everything, famous incidents where toilet humour entered a serious situation and almost destroyed international relations or anything like that, really. I mean, something that, frankly, everybody can relate to, because let's face it, it's going on all the time. And that's that. That's basically, I think, the fundamental joke, isn't it? If we break it down like a university professor would. The reason most people laugh is that it occurs in and around, and to you personally, a lot. But everybody pretends that it doesn't. So when an obvious one arrives in the conversation at a polite dinner party, it's just, you're all reminded of the fact that basically you're covering your backsides literally and figuratively in regard to this all the time. It's mad. My dad, right? I mentioned it before. My dad laughed so much about things to do with this. It was so infectious And it was about things that weren't really funny, but they seemed to just get into hysterics. He'd be crying with laughter if there was anything embarrassing to do with the toilet department. Just thought it was absolutely the funniest thing ever. And it was when he was there. If I hadn't been there, I wouldn't have laughed at all. But as soon as he let go, bursting out laughing, it was very, very infectious. It really was. A bit like you, Eric. It really worked.
I mean, he's loving this. Look at this. He's loving it, isn't he? I mean,
well, I must tell you this. This is 100% true, all right? Seriously, this is true.
Yeah, right. Brace yourself.
When my sisters first started dating her future husband, he's very snobby, very posh. Yeah. And my dad, I don't know, I think what he went through during the war, it had upset his stomach, you see. When he went into the loo, it wouldn't be 10 minutes afterwards. You have to leave it an hour before you went in there. It was, oh my God, it was awful. And anyway, my dad was in the loo with my brother-in-law. He came in, you see.
I was just stuck in a loop here. Yeah.
And he said, he walked into he said, what on earth is that awful smell? And my mother said, I think I must have done a little poo-porn indiscretion. She didn't know what to say, you see. And all of a sudden, the door opened upstairs. Here's the thrush go. The door opens. It's a bit like Stars in Your Eyes. When the door opened, all the smoke came out. It was a little bit of exaggeration. It was a bit like that. And the stench, my brother-in-law started coughing. He's putting it off a bit. He's going, my dad came running down the stairs. Said, oh, hello. And my brother-in-law was coughing his guts up. He said, my dad always had a packet of polo mints with his. Would you like a polo mint? And by that time, I was always on the floor with laughter. I mean, I wish they didn't have video cameras in those days, but if I could have videoed that would have been hysterical. It really would have been. But yes, there's those embarrassing moments. But apparently Aunt Sally says there is a toilet humour book. I used to have it. Was that by Lucinda Lambton? She went round all the toilets and indexed them, I think, in my toilet. It's usually sold around Christmas as one of those novelty gifts. That's interesting. Yes. And Patrick has said Falkham Hall Publishing, yes. And Falkham Fart Facts by Eric Von Essex. Falkham Fart Facts. That's an idea.
Well,
you got wind of that.
Yeah, I gave you this one earlier. I don't know whether anyone picked up on it. Say Farts and Folly, a retrospective.
Yes, Farts and Folly. Yes.
You can have that one.
Yes, I could chance that one, couldn't I?
Yeah.
Have a chance one. Yes.
Featuring hot air. Yeah.
Yes. But actually, on another attempt, I used to go to the zoo a lot, London Zoo, when I was a kid, because I liked animals. And I used to go with my friend. I used to walk around looking at all the animals and that. And I never forget, they used to have camels. And children, like a sort of seating on the camels, and children used to sit either side of the camel's hump. And I don't know whether the camel's called Humphrey. Well, anyway, we were sitting there eating our packed lunch, which Mummy had done for us. We come like this, you see. And there's this camel, and there's this woman who was a typical postmistress or headmistress. You know what I mean, with the long woolen dress and sort of really oldie-worldy, or right old bat, type. And she had her back to the camel, and the camel started to relieve itself, and it was splashing all up her back, and she didn't notice it. And you had to see it. She's standing there. And go, children, stand there. And all the kids in front of her, they could see what was happening. They're pinning themselves laughing. And she said, stop laughing, stop laughing. And she said, shh. Surely she must have heard the water go. Because when a camel pees, it bleeding pees like anything. You never see anything like it. It's like a bleeding shower, it is. So there we go. Anyway, shall we move on from farts and piss?
I've learned a few things tonight.
Yes. Oh, hang on.
Actually,
Viz,
before you do,
that's capital.
Breathe in the air and don't be afraid to care. I mean, it's a great philosophy. However, candles. This is an interesting one. So when I take my daughter shopping, she likes to go and smell all the candles. And we came across one yesterday, and you can't make this up. Air. The scent was air. Yeah. Yeah, I think they're getting desperate at this point. It's like, well, that one's completely pointless, isn't it? Yeah. It wasn't even fresh air, wasn't it? It wasn't like, no, just air-scented candle. Is that like the new vanilla? Is that the new?
Well,
I mean,
the,
I know. I was a bit.
gift shops used to sell London fog in tin cans to Americans. I mean, I had a fog for bleeding years. Yeah, seriously. Used to see London fog. Yes. So, and gullible Americans. Yeah. Oh, like, gee, I got a can of London fog. You know.
So as soon as you presumably open the lid, then it's gone. It's fogged off. Oh.
Yeah.
You
couldn't claim it. Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Interesting.
But
I remember
Americans
don't buy anything. To be fair, if you tell them it's a scent of London sewers, they probably I've just insulted all the Americans out of it. Sorry about that.
Well, Patrick, he's gone now, isn't he? Well, Patrick, come back. All is forgiven. We're sorry, mate. You know, but mind you, he's not American, is he? He's Falkham. He's a Falkham person, so he's not quite an American, is he? Ambassador, see, so we can't insult him, you know. But no, I used to work in an office near Tilbury. It's a place called Stamford Lee Hope. We used to call it Stamford No Hope, and often you go there, and it'd be in the summer, and it'd be mist all round you, and you drive a couple of miles up the road, and you just drive out the mist into a lovely blue sky, sunny day, and the mist actually hung round the river. And it's horrible. You'd work there. It's like being in the midwinter. You get in your car, drive home, and bleeding missed a lift. And it's like that. And once it was around that area, and miserable area to be, actually.
Sounds like Middlesbrough, to be honest with you, mate. I mean, it's kind of the same here. You get a blanket cloud. As soon as you go 20 minutes south, it's like you start to see patches of blue, you know?
Is there posh areas? I mean, there must be a posh area around Middlesbrough. I mean, do they have a hoity-toity part?
Yeah, there is. There is. I mean, it's got some beautiful wildlife around here. You know, hills and stuff like that, hills and forests. Really? Yeah, it's just if you go in the right direction. But the closer you go to the River Tees, the less you want to be there. You know, it's just one big urban sprawl, and most of it's just boarded up. It's horrible. But 20 minutes south from where I am that way, we've got tons of hills. I mean, there's hills and forests and fields everywhere. It's it's got that.
Well, the River Cam. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk.
No.
Sorry,
I was just going to say we've got I think whether you want to call it a hill or something, it's called Rosebery Top, and if you have a look at it, it's quite an iconic hill. It's kind of got a steep cliff face, and people go there and do hikes up all the time. It's quite it just looks, well, they used to call it Odin's Hill. So
really?
Right.
Yeah. So we've got that. There's loads of hills around here. So
do you have a coastline? I mean, do you, where like a holiday place? Where's the nearest one?
We've got Redcar and Saltburn. Yeah, but again, so 20 minutes from where I am at the minute, we've got Redcar and Saltburn. But they've again boarded up most of it. And Redcar, the coast. So the further north up the coast, you've got all the industrial works and the power stations and stuff like that. So that's not exactly, well, it's an eyesore. If you look at it, you just see all these old industrial buildings pumping out chemicals. And then as you get further south towards Redcar, it's just got windmills all over. You know, those
bleeding windmills.
I mean, they're just everywhere, and it's an eyesore. It's horrible. So
really?
It spoils the view. But I know they've done that all over the place. I mean, they did it to Llandudno years ago. Same thing. They just ruined it.
Yeah. Suffolk, there's loads of those bloody windmills. You're driving along. When I went up to see the Ballarat Farmer, there's these sodding windmills all over the place. They're complete bird killers. I think that's what they're called, because they kill birds.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I wonder what else they're doing as well. I mean, there's got to be some other reason for it. I mean, I'm wondering if they're pumping out some kind of like frequency that is harmful, or whether it brings down people's mood or something. I don't know. There's got to be something sinister about them.
There is.
Because half the time, we're told that they're generating electricity, but half the time they're not moving. So how does that work?
Well, that's right.
I think the most sinister thing about them, although sinister is not necessarily the right word, is the amount of backhanders that must have been flying around as these things got built.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. We've got one here off the coastline. I can go and look at these stupid pieces of junk 2-minute walk from here, and I'm at the seafront. I can see them on a clear day. won't be able to see them today because there's quite a bit of sort of, fog, as it were, or misty, moisty air. But they spent £1,400 million on this junk.
And yet they can't afford to house people, and they can't afford to, no, I'm not going into that rant, but it's taken a mick, isn't it? I mean, all of these backhanders that politicians and local councils are getting, yet the infrastructure of the country's fallen to bits, and people can't afford to feed their families. Yeah, it's a wonderful strategy, isn't it?
Well,
it is. From their point of view, it is, because they're achieving their goal, which is to destroy the nation. And that's, I still think the words of the media are wrong. When they're expressing outrage, they're describing it wrong. It's like being outraged at your enemy for killing your troops. Do you see what they did? They turned up and they started shooting at us. Yeah, that's because you don't understand. We're actually in a war, are we? Yeah. So that's how it needs to be described. The news report should be the government again brought more harm to bear on the English, Scottish, Welsh and Irish people of Northern Ireland again today by doing this. Everybody please be aware that your government is your greatest enemy, literally, by their fruits. Look, find one that's more dangerous. Find anything that's more dangerous. It's not possible.
I agree with you, but
so do I.
Paul, you're old enough to remember, and I'm old enough to remember, in the late 60s, early 70s, the housing problem was solved. There was no homeless people. I can remember that. There's nobody sitting out in the streets. And the only people you saw was tramps, and they were tramps because they probably wanted to be tramps.
They were professional tramps, weren't they?
They were professional tramps, yeah.
They'd been to university. They'd trained to become a full-time tramp.
Yeah.
They did really well. They were very smartly dressed tramps, yes. They were.
Yeah.
No, there weren't that many. I mean, there were the usual winos around pubs that you found everywhere in the world all the time. There are people like that who unfortunately drink. They'd had a fight with the bottle and the bottle had won. But I think,
it's almost a song
overall, there wasn't a sense of that. There was no sense of that.
The homelessness, and then something happened where I think it was in the early 80s, where had mass unemployment and everything went tits up from then on. Absolute mass unemployment. And I remember that there was a job centre. I mean, I was out of work for a little while, and it wasn't good. And I went down to the unemployed, job centre.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to, but I thought, well, I paid in for it, might as well get it. And I got talking to the bloke. They're a very friendly bloke, and he said, we just can't cope with it. He said, the masses of people that are coming in. He said, we're just bogged down with the amount of people unemployed that are just losing their jobs left, right and centre. And this was in about 1981, 82. And it was horrendous. Luckily, I did get another contract because the building industry goes in 11-year cycles of crash and boom, which is very, very strange. And since the Middle Ages, it's done this. Like 11-year crash, 11-year boom. And it goes up and down all the time. And, economists can't work it out. It's a very strange thing of the building industry. But they used to say, if the building industry's gone, then the country's kaput. And
so, there seem to be, I'm going to have to be careful what I say because we're on YouTube and I don't want to get, but right. They are seemingly building houses for, can we call them boat people? How about that?
Yes, boat people.
Yes. And yet, for the likes of you and I, whether we're going for rent or mortgage or anything like that, it is becoming ever more difficult to get anywhere. And the checks that you've got to go through, with tenancy, letting agents, things like that, and estate agents, it's ridiculous, right? Obviously, I'm in the process of moving now, and it's nightmarish, and it was nightmarish 10 years ago, but they've stepped everything up, and it's insulting now. And again, you see I'm trying to be very careful on doing this because of obvious reasons. You can see the demographic changing. So you know who the houses are going to, and so my point with this is that if they're giving preference to people from other countries over their own citizens, if they are causing hardship for their own citizens, why don't we call it for what it is? Treason. We are now at war. Or no, actually, I'm going to take that back. The governments are now at war with their own people, not the other way around, because we don't get a choice in this. They have declared war on their own people, which is treason. right? And people need to start calling this out. All of these laws that the governments are bringing in against the people, what the people forget is these laws go both ways. The governments are still doing the things that they're stopping us from doing. So not only is that, so then if we invert it, we push it back to them, we say, well, actually, you're doing that, so you are just as culpable as we are, right? So that's what's going on here. But as far as housing goes, I think it's an absolute joke. Everywhere you see all these new estates going up, and they're all like carbon copies of each other. I mean, it doesn't matter whether they're big houses, small. It doesn't matter. There's houses going up anyway, and yet we're told, well, we're in a housing crisis. Really? Well, okay. Where are they all going to then?
Precisely.
It's a bit of a. I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'm going to stick some lights on. So just
okay. There's a housing crisis in a country where the indigenous population has been dropping like a stone since World War II. In fact, since World War One, it's been dropping. And this is the thing: we don't say the word treason anymore, do we, Paul? Have you noticed that? That's not used at all. And we should start using it more. These people are traitors. They're treason.
I think we've mentioned it a few times around here. I mean, it's good that Nathan brings it up. It's true. This is, in part, what I was saying about the language that's coming out of the so-called news spaces. They're maintaining a fictitious drama. It's not that these events are not real, but they're being framed as if these are events that the government is doing its best to try and reverse, which is clearly not true, because they have plenty of power to get things done that they want to get done and never exercise any decision makings in line with the improvement to the quality of life for us.
You're right.
Then, that's it. It is treason, not because we say it is, but because it is.
Yeah.
And you know this by looking at their fruits. Just forget what they say, look at what's happening. Who's done this? Did the people of England say, oh, we're all a bit lonely. Can you bring loads of other people from incompatible cultures, races, religions and lines to come and live with us so that we can have lots of problems and our children can't get houses? Can you do that? Because we're really bored of everything working so well. We need a lot of drama in our lives. And also, we would really like it if you could accuse us of being racist. It's been so boring over here. And Nazis do that as well. And could you get loads of gay prides going as well? Because it's so boring. Nobody ever asked or wanted any of this, nor do they want it now, nor will they ever want it. And therefore, the government is literally your enemy. It's not. And again, not because we say so, but because it's behaving like one. It's absolutely behaving like one. So.
Yes, let's face it. You if you got on an aeroplane and you went to Ireland, the government is working against the people in Ireland. You get go the other way, go to France. Look at what's happening in France, Germany. The government are working against the people there as well. I mean, I can't speak for other countries because I don't know, but Australia, New Zealand, America, Canada, well, in particular. I mean, how do these people get into these positions? Because I do not believe they are democratically voted in. I really do not believe that. Not in a million years.
They are selected at a young age because of their bloodlines or because of their heritage, because of their family name, and they are selected for positions of power. I mean, I keep forgetting it's part of the World Economic Forum. It's like the Young Leaders Institute or something like that. I keep forgetting what the full title of it is. But they are selected and they're trained up for about 20 years to become world leaders in 20 years' time. Well, if they're spending all that money doing that, then how can they be elected? They're selected, right? We don't elect them. We select them. It's like, do you want dickhead A or dickhead B? Do you want the asshole in the red tie or the asshole in the blue tie? It doesn't really matter, because apart from a few tiny policy changes that they might push through just to make it look as if they're on different sides, fake dialectics and dichotomies. I think we discussed this yesterday as well, on the other show. But it's like, it doesn't matter. They're all pushing the same agendas. All the countries are in league with each other. All the technocratic corporations are in league with each other, and they're all pushing the same agenda. It's just, and this comment that you just put on the screen now, I was actually going to ask you to put this on. How apt is that? We have always been subjected to governments, and we've always, they've always been the enemy of the people. It's just that now it's becoming obvious, which is what all the censorship's about. It's to shut us up and to shut us down. So that's quite poetic. I didn't mean that, but when are people going to start calling it for what it is? Where's people's convictions?
I agree with you. And the only when you see anybody doing anything for their people, they're destroyed.
Yeah.
Gaddafi.
No, you mean genuine philanthropy, where they're trying to go out there and do a bit of good and decency and actual genuine charity work for people who need it. Yeah, they don't tend to last long, do they? It's almost like there's a constant effort to shut it down.
But it's always if they. I know I keep on about usury, but if they actually do away with usury, like a certain country did in 1933, that country is then destroyed. Gaddafi did away with usury; he's got to be destroyed. Iraq.
There's not many countries left, man. I mean, how many countries now are not controlled by or destroyed by world banks and their puppets? Because as far as I'm aware,
I don't know.
Finished the last couple of wars. Is it 3 or 4 left?
I think Syria was left. There's that South American country and North Korea. But I think they're propped up by banks. I really do believe they are. I can't think North Korea can, because I know that America supplies them with food, with grains, with rice.
North Korea.
So,
interesting.
Yeah.
Iran, yeah, but right. Sorry, DJ B2's just mentioned. That sounds weird. That's an interesting name. He's just mentioned Iran, yeah, but that's on their hit list next, mate. They're not going to let that stand, unfortunately. Do I need to put a caveat out here? We're just discussing things generally. This is not. We're
not planning the overthrow of the government. Heaven forbid.
No. Oh, yeah,
we're not sat here. Right? This is just. It's just a metaphorical virtual pint drinking session at the Falkham Hall Arms.
That's right.
We're just having it. It's all for humorous and entertainment purposes. We don't mean any harm to nobody, particularly the people that are harming us. We don't mean any harm to them. That would be wrong for us to actually wish ill upon the people that are actually making ill things happen to us. I mean, they've got a right to actually abuse us, and we don't want to infringe with that, do we? Yeah.
Well, we did elect them after all, Paul. Now remember, it is our fault because we elected the selected politicians.
I know. I mean, that sort of sticks in my craw because I've never voted to elect anyone ever. And I've mentioned it before. People say to me, I've had a few exchanges like this when it's gone that way, and they've said, well, Paul, if you don't vote, you can't complain. And I said, no, you've got it the wrong way round. Think about it. It's you that can't complain. You're the one that put them in. I can do all I want. I don't agree with anything. In fact, I want to complain at you for putting these buggers in over me and ruining everybody's life because you're so stupid as to think that they're going to do any good for you. Haven't you worked it out yet? How old are you? Are you going to grow up? And all sorts of other stupid things that I like to say to people. Not that it's ever disputatious. People are not really interested in it. They just go off, they vote, and then they forget about it, and then they moan for the next 5 years. And maybe that's part of the habit. Maybe it's really part of the habit. Oh, now we can moan about this one. Yeah, that's good.
Metaphorically speaking, governments dig their own graves. This current one is digging its own grave. Metaphorically, I'm talking about. But the trouble is that someone, Farage, and as you say, Paul, with his garage, he'll probably be elected the next election. He'll probably come in. And he'll be like Blair, first couple of months, think, things are changing. And then all of a sudden, it goes tits up again.
They're already lined up. The big thing that they're pushing for is this ID crap, right?
Yeah.
And that'll be the solution to the migrant problem.
I think it's a bit deeper than that. If you look at this online safety bill, which has nothing to do with online safety, it's complete. It's about data
really?
You
are a cynic, Nathan. Don't you think they want to keep us safe?
But if you think about it, but look at what they wanted to bring in. They want this ID card in. So what have they done effectively? And we know that they're going to bring in censorship anyway. But so now there's a bit of a backlash to this. It's like you need a passport to access Wikipedia, really. How many people are going to put their passports forward to play an online computer game or something like that? Because I sure as shit ain't. So if I can't access it, I'm not doing it. But a lot of people will. But there's a lot of outcry to it as well. So what's the next step then? Oh, okay, we may have overpushed the boundary with this. So how about we'll negotiate with the people. If we give you an ID card, which everyone's obliged to have, you can just register that to your internet, and then you won't need all these passports and driver's licenses to access the internet. So to me, this is setting up the whole Hegelian dialectic, right? It's a problem, reaction, solution. They're getting the people to react to an obvious, overt attack on people's liberties, and so the people are now really fighting. Well, I say they're fighting back, but not enough, not in the right way. And to me, it's all about getting people on ID cards and things like that. It's just complete. I suppose from a certain perspective, mate, it becomes transparent. Everything they do is just transparent. And as far as Farage gets, sorry, I'll quickly finish this one. As far as Farage is concerned, it wouldn't surprise me if he did get in, which I'm going to say is a good thing. And just hear me out on this one, because when he does, and when the people see the fact that he's still pushing the same agendas, maybe not as hard and fast as the ones that are in now, but he's going to still push the same agendas, and then people are going to see through the illusion a bit more. They're going to realize that it doesn't matter which color tie gets in, they're all just the same, right? So you know what? Let Farage get in. Good. Let the bubble pop. Let people's illusions get absolutely blown to bits. Because it's oh shit. I'm not advocating violence on the internet, so I better correct that. You know,
I think that will happen, Nathan, but I don't think it's going to make any difference. No, because I think it's just a matter of degree. The problem that we have, and that I think we've had for many decades, like all my life, really, and going back even before that, it's to do with how we kind of relate to the whole of the communication in terms of our opinion of government. At the bottom of it all, there's still a compliance with that authority. Even the moaning, even the highly intelligent thing. You look at this, you go, that's absolutely right. Even us here, we're absolutely correct. And most of the listeners are in understanding what's going on. It doesn't make any difference that we understand it. There's something much more fundamental has got to happen right at the center, I think, at the heart of every individual. Right. They have a choice to make. The choice really is this. You either continue moaning about the governments of men, or you leave them. That's it. And no one wants to leave it, because it's like I was saying about habit. We've formed habits around this entire drama. We know our roles. We're the pleasant peasants, right? We whine about things, and then we get together, and it is great. It's better than nothing at all. I grant you that. But in a way, it's just another holding position. And I think it's the same thing with the alternative information space. It's not going to make it was needed, but it's actually past its sell-by date. We learn, most people in this space learn 90% of all the key things that they need to learn within 3, 5 years, 6 years, whatever it is. Maybe it's 3 to 5 months. Maybe it's been more rapid over the COVID thing. And then you're faced with the decision. You have to do something about it. Right. And that's the decision nobody wants to make. What, me? Yeah, you. Yeah. Why? Well, but there's nobody else here. But, well, can't I leave it to someone else? And everybody's thinking
because they're afraid, though. I mean, largely, I absolutely agree with you on this one, Paul. Absolutely, 100%. Because the thing is, people lack the conviction. As soon as the spotlight's on them to actually act and do something, most of them shy away and hope that somebody else is going to do it for them. The few that do step forward, like yourself, like Chris, like me, like the people in the chat, you know, there's plenty of us doing it, just not enough as a grand.
Not enough yet. There's not enough of us yet, and I think we have to operate on a basis that there will be. I was having a discussion with someone about that today, and they said, "Well, you know my view. We're never going to wake the masses up." I said, "I know that, and technically and historically, you're correct." But I can't subscribe to that because I've got to get out of bed tomorrow morning and I need to be motivated. So I know what I'm doing with my own head. I'm saying, yeah, the logical part of me tells me that this is a silly task, but my heart tells me that there's no other choice. I don't know what one is, unless someone turns up and says this, but they will offer, and blokes are prone to this, they'll offer a new system. I talk about it all the time. I mean, these are technical things that were we in charge, we would seek to enact. Of course, we get killed, we get shot, we get assassinated, poisoned, picked off at a restaurant. Oh, son's had a heart attack. This happened. That's what's going to happen. But that's why we need the numbers. People have to decide, I suppose, and I don't know whether it's possible, but I still think it's worth pursuing, whether they want to be in charge of their own life or they want to continue to let this other group of crooks and villains who are quite happy to abuse you be in charge of it. That's it. And it's like that. What's that bank raid? Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
Basically, we've got advanced societal Stockholm syndrome. All of us, to some degree, you're going, well, he's not a bad guy. Nigel Farage is saying better things than the other guy. Yeah, but he's part of the bank robbing crew. We're not in there, are we? The people, I mean, they say, well, it's not that bad. Hang on, just a minute. I never got up in the morning and ordered someone to go off and kill people. Never did that. I've never done any of those things. The peasants are the most honourable, decent people on the face of the earth, wherever you go. All the other people are not. They're not the most honourable and decent people. And like you were saying earlier on, Eric, they have an ego. They go, well, I'm going to lead you to success. Whoa, just a minute, mate. Where are we going? Right? Because wherever we're going, it doesn't include God. Whatever they've got, it does not include God. And it's literally that stark. You're either going to go and live in the temple of God and obey the laws of nature, or you're going to go into the temple of Mammon and be ruled by the city. It's the law of the land or the law of the city. And by the temple of God, I don't mean going and joining a religion, because that's more of the part of the city. All of that stuff, it's man-made affairs. It's literally, it's direct. And this is the challenge that individuals face. What? You mean I could just exist on the planet and stand on this piece of ground and I could make my own decisions? Well, if you don't, mate, someone else is going to do it for you. And I'll tell you, historically, it ain't going to turn out good. Well, because it never, ever has. It can't.
Well,
it turns to Bob Rule.
What effectively has happened is the people have allowed this to happen, which makes the people, the population, as culpable as those stomping on us, because we've allowed that en masse. We often say that we're the 99%. I mean, we're not really the 99%. I think we'd be lucky if we were the 30%, because of all their minions and infrastructure, employees, whatever you want to call them. But stop being stood on. Stand in your own sovereignty. Stand for freedom. Stand for morality. I know I sound like a broken record. And I mean, you mentioned there that the city deletes God. I mean, they are taking that connection out of the equation. It's
everything that all the good stuff from the past. And as far as I'm aware, they didn't have electronic ID in the past, did they? But we had safe borders with just wooden rowing boats. So what's that all about? That's about a people that are involved in a process of self-determination. And they're looking at one another going, we are a people. Yeah, we are, right? Now, so every single thing that's happened incrementally and with ever-increasing speed since World War II, this whole ramping up of social engineering, the creation of the teenager, an entity that did not exist prior to 1948 or something when they created one with the Bobby Soxers and Frank Sinatra or wherever. There'll be other little flashpoints for this. I was a teenager. My dad wasn't. That's weird. We both went through the same age group, but apparently I was a teenager. So a whole culture was designed for teenagers, all part of the process of fragmenting the cohesion of families. And families are it. And I've mentioned here before, if you were, given that you have to have some guidelines for how our nation, i.e. a tribe of people of the same race with a shared and received history, culture and language, that's what a nation is. You would have to say, because it's unavoidable, that the peak of that, the absolute, right at the very top of the whole thing, is the family. The family is the most amazing institution going. It's denigrated, it's run down. Every single bit of popular fiction culture is about couples splitting up or jumping in bed with everybody and all this kind of crap. You never see them when they're in their 40s and 50s and they're cat and dog ladies and everything, and blokes just drunk with a ruined, miserable life, with no one around them, dying alone, because that's what's going to happen to huge numbers of people. It's tragic, it's sick, right? Because the family has taken... We don't have to argue about the family, you see, because it's come about over tens of thousands of years. It's learned from true experience of living down here, where food has got to be get, and you have to cooperate. And you work as a complementary team with your wife or your husband. And you're both co-responsible for your children. You don't want them going into some stupid school to learn the shite that they're putting into their heads. You don't let them go. Oh, but I can't because the government told me. We've got to pull away from all of that. So the challenge is you are going to stand alone under the sun. What? Me? I can't do it. I'll stand with you. If you're willing to, if you make a commitment to do that, I'll make a commitment to do it with you. But I'm not, if you get into all this other malarkey, I'm out of here because hell's on the way and we can't participate in that. We can't.
You said that spot on. And when you look at even the most primitive tribal societies, they have family units. A lot of them have a family unit. A mother, father.
You can't thrive without them. It's impossible to thrive and develop a deep culture. We take it all for granted. We've got literature, we've got art. You look at the stuff that was produced in the 16, 17, 18, 1900s, right? These are stunning orchestral pieces, statues, carving, sculptors, the lot, buildings, right? It's amazing. You just go, oh, it's all going, and now we're putting boxes up. I know we bang on about architecture, but I think it's a great one to bang on about because it's in your bloody face every minute you walk out of the house. Dung. You know, in brick form. Just complete crap.
Putting around. Look, I mean, you just mentioned the architecture, which is horrible. You're right. It is just boxes. It's steel and brick boxes. But look at the art. I mean, at least in the classical period, the art was actually decent. It was well crafted and maintained, and it was beautiful, aesthetic. And there was a skill to it. Now you look at, you go into cities and you look at these roundabouts. You get these metal monstrosities. This modern art. And what is that? It's just basically somebody's been paid to produce a metal monstrosity and stick it as a piece of crap on it. It doesn't look like anything. There's no beauty to it. There's no skill set to it. There's nothing. And all of this is, like you said, it goes back to the destruction of the family unit, as does. I don't even know if I can mention that. Let's say naughty websites. I don't know if that's another thing that's censored now. That contributes to the destruction of the family unit. Things like OnlyFans, destruction of the family unit. Men and women going out to work, in order to support one single household, destruction of the family unit. There's ambitious people now that they're concentrating too much on their work and careers that they don't want to have children. That's only going to go one way.
I know.
And the more power we give to the schools and the state and the government to take care of our children, the less power and the less say we have, the less children we have, the less family we have, the less unity we have, which then the community starts to fall to bits, and then we're all looking around like headless chicken thinking, well, where do we go from here? All of that builds into it.
People they look into money as wealth, and it isn't. It just is not.
Not these days.
The wealth is in the people. If you have sons and daughters and you've had the joy and privilege of raising them with all the challenges that brings, it's so rich a life, and many people are not going to know that. And they've actually got to a viewpoint where they don't think it's worth having because they want a career, because they need to buy a car. Are you for real? But they are, because they've been disconnected from what's really eternal and what got us to this point. Thousands and thousands of generations of families. Nothing else. It wasn't bankers that got us here. It's nothing like that. They're just... So all the toys of civilization have now taken centre stage, and the substance of it has been pushed to the outskirts as if we can ignore it, it'll be fine. Oh, we don't need to worry about the farmers. Oh, we don't need to worry about this. And what we're talking about with buildings, of course, is part of the ongoing, is another aspect of the demoralisation process. If you're surrounded by things that look like junk, and if you can only buy clothes that dress you up like a sort of action man figure or whatever it is, and I'm a bloke, I can't be bothered shopping for clothes. I just expect something to be there that I'm going to put on. But it's a miserable life. You go, oh, well, I've got all this money. Yeah, but look at you. You're overweight. You're dressed like crap. Everybody around you is an idiot. They're all playing crap music, right? They've got no art that you're producing. The films are shit. TV's just complete porn and puke all the time. The music industry is a joke. It's just a big sort of tape recorder playing the same stuff for 5 or 6 years with girls with big tits dancing around. And apparently this is amazing. It's not.
No,
it's shite.
not, is it?
Everybody knows it. Yeah.
Just in line with this, I want to ask you both a question. I want to apply this to the people in the chat as well, right? You've just mentioned something there about, getting dressed and going to shopping, right? So have you ever been a follower of fashion? Ever? Because I haven't. I've never followed fashion. I don't give a shit what name's on the shirt or on the shoes or anything. If it looks good for me and it looks decent, and I can go out there and look like a decent member of society and I feel comfortable in it whilst, taking a little bit of self-respect. That's
to me, it's always been a worry in men if they're overly concerned with that. I think there's a modest level of concern. If you think about what blokes are really about, it actually is to down-dress, to be modestly dressed, to not get too dressed like a peacock. None of that. Maybe between the ages of 16 and 26, you can't help it. I accept that you're just a big bag of hormones, right? And that's all kicking off. And you just go, whoa, this is great. And I'm completely out of control. And I don't know if that girl likes me or she hates me. Oh, my God. All that sort of stuff. Let's turn it into a TV series. Right, great. At the time when it's going on with it's the most important stuff in the world, I accept all that. It just is. You're kind of emotionally all over the shop half the time. You don't know whether anybody am I ugly? Is my nose too big? Oh, my legs have fallen off. All this kind of, people just worry about everything, don't they? And they're going to keep on doing it. It just happens, right? But in the end, you get to a certain age, you go, well, a load of crap. Why was I worried about all that stuff? It didn't make any difference at all. Blokes just need to be dressed soberly. Then you become masculine, right? It's not about displaying it. It's about, it's actually withheld. It's restrained. It's, people can tell if someone's got something about them and they don't, you don't want to look like a pile of crap, but you don't want to be sort of going around like a popinjay. I mean, that's the sodomite world. They just go over the top. You go, no, mate, they've got that wrong. And all that kind of stuff. And then, of course, women have gone the other way now. They barely wear any clothes at all, thinking that somehow this is full of allure. It's not. It's absolutely repulsive. Because what you're stripping men of is the ability for men to exercise their imagination, which men have to do and will do anyway. No matter what you say, they're going to do it. And if you remove all the barriers to exercising the imagination, you make it rubbish. I was reading something the other day about Egypt. I was reading a story. I don't read many novels, but I read them every now and again to make my brain work in a different way. It's a refresher. So you're ploughing through all this info, on the net, and you go, oh yeah, and that, and I'm going, do I need to read this anymore? I don't, personally. I don't really need to read it anymore. I suppose it's just kind of keeping your brain on focus a bit and going, yeah, I need to be reminded of that. Oh, I forgot that one. And it's all important stuff. But if you go off and read a novel, I'm not suggesting necessarily that you do, and just say, okay, I'm stepping out of this world for a bit. It might be half an hour, it might be 20 minutes. I don't know how long you can read for, but you go in there, and you just fall into a new place. It's so refreshing because you get reminded of, often, if you're reading good stuff, you'll get reminded of the qualities that we want back in life that you can only now find in this bloody book. And you're going, I remember when a lot of these sorts of things that I'm reading now, they were actually present in the behavior and conduct of people that I lived with, and I loved it. And, there was something beautiful about it, and there were very funny times, and the comedy was gentler but richer, and people laughed longer and deeper and with much more smiles on their faces, and they still got angry about things, but it wasn't this permanent dirge. This is the drabbest world I've ever lived in. It's drab, and the more technology that comes along to solve our problems, the drabber it gets. It's not got any spontaneous fizz. There's not that.
It doesn't even solve problems, though, doesn't it? It just creates new ones.
It does. It does. That's all it does.
Sorry for cutting you off there, mate.
No, you didn't. You didn't. And you should cut me off because I can bang on for hours. So I don't mind.
Well, hey, look, it makes for good listening. So
we got someone in chat who's new. We'd like to say welcome, and it's Sophia. Hello, Sophia.
Hello.
I didn't know how I ended up here, but I'm glad I'm here. Bless you. It's very kind.
We're glad you're here too, Sophia. It's the power of the toilet humour, probably, although we haven't had any for about half an hour, and I wish I'd never said that because he's about to come back with a vengeance, probably. I'm sorry, mate.
But Paul mentions a good one. The family is being destroyed in every aspect of life. When we used to go on holiday, we travelled on trains with all table seating, so families sat together. Modern trains are 90% airline-style seats. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to having Paul in charge of redesigning public transport from the ground up.
Yes.
I'm serious. Because Paul, all your sensibilities are absolutely spot on. It's warmth. We're talking about warmth between people to a great degree, and other hidden qualities, just the general decency between people. And you have to create spaces, or you can create them that augment and improve that, and you can create them that diminish it. We're living in a world that's diminishing it by intention. Sterile spaces, plastic everywhere, concrete and glass. Oh, this has got so much space and form. Yeah, but it's dead, mate. It's dead. You've just created a big dead box, and the people who go into it, they die in it because they don't even know why they live. They're just functionaries in some great big technological system. It's tedious. You've got no imagination. Bugger off. Go away.
Purposeless as well. I mean, people have lost purpose, they've lost focus, they've lost an objective.
Self-respect. That's what they've lost. Yeah. Self-respect. And a working class, Herodotus Skepticism, I like that name. A working class hero is something to be. Charity shop hero. Yes. Yeah, I like shopping around charity shops.
From the John Lennon song, a working class hero is something to be.
And did you know the song Imagine? The words to that are from the Communist Manifesto of 1930 something.
I knew that.
Yes.
We're all going to come together and love with another. John, we don't need to. I know you've shuffled off this mortal coil. By the way, it was the door guard that shot him,
Really?
Killed him. Mark Chapman. Yeah, the door guard is an assassin, a CIA assassin, and I've forgotten his name. It's all come out. He was dressed up as the doorman, and he shot him. And then Chapman was mind controlled, and they just picked him as the patsy and slung him in prison because he was a pest somewhere else or something. Yeah.
Not
by accident. Very talented man, John Lennon, but I don't agree with him on that, of course. There's just far too much. You don't need all this lovey-doveyness. In fact, if you do it, you don't bring love into the world. You bring a sort of... It's tedious. It's people always banging on about love. Just let it happen. It'll happen. Don't worry about it. Be patient. It just turns up.
Anything that's been directed from the media, if they're telling you to do one thing, or if there's a movement towards anything in society, I'm always a bit suspicious of it anyway. It's like, well, where's this coming from all of a sudden? We shouldn't need to be told how to love. That's a bit insane, really, isn't it? Because we've all got the capacity to do that. We all need it.
Like in communist China, in some areas, might have been all areas, I don't know, wasn't there. But under Mao, you didn't choose your marriage partner. The Central Committee chose it for you. So when you got to a certain age, you got someone, a female, or to choose. So the Central Committee chose who will be your lifetime partner.
I wouldn't mind doing that. I wouldn't mind doing that job.
Yeah,
we'll put you in charge of that, Eric. You can do that for a few years. Matchmaker.
Matchmaker. Well, my neighbour told me something. It's quite interesting. She said, if you're looking for a female, a man should wear a suit. She said, and women will be falling over you. She said because it's like a uniform. Women fall for uniforms, and a man in a suit is like a uniform. That's what she told me. That's
it
from
sends
a
out a
point
signal
of
of self-control and personal discipline. That's what it sends out.
Confidence. And I believe what Alec Guinness used to say. He said, you could always tell a man by the hang of his trousers. If they're too long, scruffy. Too short, absolutely mad. Just right, that'll be a balanced individual. And he apparently always used to look down at the hang of a gentleman's trousers. So there we go. So there you are.
The guy in the Jedi robe. I'm just saying, it's a bit rich, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a bit, yes. But he
always
Obi-Wan
Obi-Wan Wardrobe, was it?
Yes.
That's
it.
Yeah.
I like average wardrobe, yes. And we got here, Aunt Sally said, how's your bath tonight? Is it nice and warm, Aunt Sally? Has it got a bubble bath tonight? People are thinking, oh, he's a sexy sod asking about a bath. How dare he? So we ask this every week, don't worry. I was a follower of fashion, like the Kinks, a dedicated follower of fashion when I was younger. But clothes were so much more expensive back then. Yes, they were. I made my own, and I was really good at it. Yes. Well, I bought a leather jacket when I was 16, and it still fits me. I can still wear it. And I got that from C&A. Yeah, and Pocket Cop.
They went a long time ago, didn't they? C&A, I remember them.
Yeah. Or as my uncles used to call it, and you got to think about this, front and back.
No.
I'll go to the front and back. They used to call it front and back.
I can't be around this sort of language. It's just unbelievable. I thought this was a family pub.
Get his toilet humour from, I wonder.
Yeah. I don't know.
But what's this now? It says here, feminist communists, this is DJB2, in a bra is one of the main tools to destroy the family. Yes.
Sorry, go back to that one. Explain that one to me. Are we literally on? Are we talking about?
They burnt their bras, didn't they? Didn't the feminists burn their bras?
I think DJ B2 is addressing the issue that those sorts of females, because it would be a bit of an exaggeration to call them women, are repellent. They repel male attention. They actually reduce any idea of libido. In fact, if you're around them, you can't even spell it after a while. They're such dead people. It's sad as well, even though I'm being slightly abusive about it. It's tragic. Yeah, I never remember seeing any females like that in the 60s when I was a little lad, or even in the 70s. The vast majority of females dressed like it. It was great. And you just took it for granted. But now it's absent in great across huge numbers of girls who are wearing jeans and stuff and all this. No, I'm against it. Some girls are just blessed with astonishing good looks. They could wear a paper bag and they'd look great, right? It's simply true. Actually, my wife was like that. I know that sounds a bit much, but all her friends used to refer to her. We said she could wear a bin liner and she'd look good. She just happened to have that kind of a figure. But not all the do. I sound as though I'm bragging. I'm not really. It's just happened to be the case, right? She was sort of that way, and some girls are not gifted in that way, and that's always been the case. But the ones that were not or weren't blessed with the astonishing beauty that you see, obviously from time to time, certainly because we're exposed to it in the media, they used to go about and dress themselves in a way that was still attractive. They could do so. They would know how to do it. Now it's a bit like, oh, I'm this shape, so I'm going to just reveal all my flesh to the world. Please don't do that. Please don't. Don't do it.
What about?
I was having a discussion about this.
Blokes are just as
about,
bad.
About female fashion, it's almost like Attack of the Clones, isn't it? Really, but again, there's all of this. There's two ways of looking at it. The females now seem to think there's one aesthetic to go for, which is bollocks, because men like different things and combinations of different things. But not only that, but all of this fakery that they're doing to the lips and their eyes and their extension, all of that crap. It's fake. It's artificial. It's not beautiful. It's just
makeup.
Even makeup. That's another one.
I can't stand makeup. Why women put makeup on with bleeding blue eyelids and green? Oh, freaking
yeah.
Do
you know what? I've got a phrase for this.
Powder and shit.
The only women that need to wear makeup are ugly women, right? Because if you're beautiful, you don't need to bring that out. You're already beautiful, right? You don't need that. The only makeup that I like on a woman is lipstick, because it's alluring. It draws you in. Anything other than that, unless you're pig ugly and you're trying to cover something up.
There is a reason for that. Seriously, there is a reason. This is a family show, isn't it? I've got to be careful what I say. But it was Desmond Morris said it once. You remember Desmond Morris with Zoo Time, where he's sticking his finger up a dog's arse and stuff like that. Oh look, you see he's wagging his tail and all that. Yes, it's very nice. Always at dinner time or tea time. But he said that the reason women wear, and remember, it's not what I say, it's what he said. Red lipstick is because when they're at the point of pleasure in a certain doing horizontal jogging, shall we say, I think I've said that politely, their lips, actually more blood goes into their lips and their lips go red. And what they're saying, I'm trying to allure you because I've got red lips. I'm sort of at a point of shall we say, they're trying to show off that they're it's a native thing. What is it? A baboon's arse is a.
Can we swiftly move on to another topic while you struggle
well,
with
it's a bit like I'm struggling with this. It's alluring, shall we say? I'm ready to. It's a kind of subconscious thing that's the reason.
I think we should continue, mate. I'm enjoying this. I mean, it's
yes. I've struggled with it. This is a family show. I've got around all the difficult ones, I think you
presented that very, very well, Chris. And in the grand scheme of
I thought it was shit, actually.
You did that very decently, and you composed it very well. There you go.
And I brought a baboon's arse into it, so there we go.
For that.
Yes,
except for the baboon's arse. Yeah, why
mind you,
that's an image that I'm going to take away from tonight's show and feel as though my life's really improved. Thanks.
Well, when I've had a very strong curry Indian, I usually say I feel like my bum feels like a baboon's arse.
Well, I've never felt a baboon's arse, and I don't intend to be quite honest. It's not on my to-do list, honest, Eric. It's not. No, go out, feel a baboon's arse. Number 7. I've got some other thing I've got to do. It's a bit much, really.
Aunt Sally says, having my bath after this, actually. Oh, are you? Oh, you let us all down. Ah, yes. But
changing routine, change is as good as a break.
That's right.
Anyway.
Now it says it's all by design, Marlene. This is Paul talking, and of course the current build are all plastic inside. Travel on an old wooden stock on preserved railways, and it's much more relaxed place to be. I agree with you. Everything's plastic everywhere, synthetic. There's no sort of you look at the old cars, they had a lot of wood in them and things like that. It's natural. They look beautiful. There's something
They were
about
crafted.
them.
They were artistic. They were supposed to be aesthetic. People took, pride in their produce, but now it's just mass-produced crap. Okay,
That's
some of
right.
it looks nice. I mean, to be fair, I do prefer the way a lot of cars are today than they were in the 80s.
They're safer.
Be honest.
They
Well,
are
no,
safer.
I like the fact that they're more shapely. Let's go for that. In the 80s, they seem to be very boxy. So I prefer the way they are now to the 80s. But then if you look at the origin of cars and motor cars and how it was a very different industry, wasn't it? They were meant to.
Well, it was, but you say boxy. I agree with you in the early 80s, but I mean, my 1989 Toyota Carina, that isn't boxy. That's quite, it's got a sort of it's quite, I like it because of the shape and that, and I like the engine as well and things like that. Big Bag Blondie. That's Roger Skepticism. Yes, she's a lady that could wear almost anything, I think. War paint. Yes, this is makeup, heavy makeup, and but I'm afraid I've upset a lot of people by saying this. Everybody's up, we've got different ideas of beauty and what is attractive and what like. But I'm afraid I just can't stand tattoos and piercing, tats as they call them. And the worst one is the bogey ring. Why do women have a ring on their bogey ring so that when they blow, don't they get a bit of snot go?
What, a ring? You're about a ring?
A ring through their nose. I mean, bulls have rings through their nose.
Well, I was going to say that to me just says chattel or cattle or
yeah.
Well, let's not go into that one.
I think it looks attractive.
Can I? Right, I'm going to pick on my troll here. Right. So the latest comment, 954. Can we bring that up? I'm going to answer this one straight away. I'm going to embarrass her.
Just one moment. 9:54. Just bear with me one moment, please.
Barefoot Forager.
Here we go. Right.
There we go. Do you want me to read that out?
Yeah, why not?
Right. Should we shame women for wearing makeup to try and improve themselves? That's the question. Not all of us have natural beauty, whilst men judge us on our looks. Right. First of all, Holly, you are. Fucking hell! I'm going to mess this one up, aren't I? You do have natural beauty. Right, so that's first and foremost. Secondly, if women wish to wear makeup, that's entirely up to them. I don't think it's a necessary. What I'm saying is, if you do have natural beauty, or I just don't think it's necessary. If you want to wear it, entirely different. Somebody else mentioned earlier about the chemicals that you find in a lot of the makeup, which is quite toxic and involves animal.
That's correct.
cruelty.
Yes.
So again. Where Holly's concerned, she makes her own makeup, so all natural. So you could say that there's a way around that as well. So I don't know who I've embarrassed, myself or Holly more at this one, but men do judge people on their looks. But
I think they do, but I think warmth of personality and kindness is the most important thing. There's little things I watch for, like there was a film once. About a gangster who took a youngster under his wing, and he told this youngster, I can't remember it's American, I can't remember what it was called, and he actually said, when you're dating a lady, something about opening the door. He said, have the door locked, see if she opens the door or helps you to open the door, something like that. Do something where she has to help you to just find out whether she stand back and let you struggle or whether she would actually help you. There's little things like that I look for because I think, as I say, warmth of personality is the most important thing. Yeah, looks, yes, but again, we've all got different eyes of beauty. Yeah.
Well, look, we whether we like to admit it or not, we all judge other people, right? Everybody does it, and we all, of course, we're drawn to aesthetics. I think that's just a natural thing that we, of course, I'm not going to deny that, beauty appeals. Of course it does. I'm human, but going back there to the point, okay, if you want to wear makeup, that's not my issue. A lot of women do enjoy wearing makeup, but speaking as a man drawn to women, I just think in a lot of cases it's not necessary. It's not. Not to insult. I'm not trying to insult anybody out there. No, I think it was Mylene who said she likes to wear makeup as well. Knock yourselves out. And if that helps you to improve your confidence, if that helps you to go out there and feel better about yourself, absolutely fine. I just don't think most of you need it. Genuinely, I don't think
I don't mind makeup. I think men are attracted to women through their looks, but they're not retained by their looks. It's the attractor, like beautiful flowers. It's a tremendous power that women have. Obviously, there's the main period of life, like sort of from 15 onwards or whatever it is this day, right? And then women get very panicky about losing their look. So you read a lot of articles. Yeah. I think that's also a misnomer, because women of all sorts of ages can be very attractive to men, particularly in the same age group. As they get older, it can be even better and more attractive, I've found, as I've got older. Because you, as a bloke particularly, you're a bit gawky when you're young in comparison to women. They're so much more sophisticated than we are. We're too busy getting covered in shit and things and stuff like that and falling over. But so when you're a young bloke, you are attracted by looks. There's no two ways about it. As you get to know a person longer, if it's not working, you're not retained by them. It wouldn't hold you in the relationship at all. That there are other things. I've always gone a great deal on how women sound. How they sound, how they talk, their sort of demeanor. But you could say it obviously works the same way as well for women. I would have thought it's probably pretty much the same way for, they don't want to be with a pig. Maybe they do want to be with a pig. I don't really know, but you would think that there's got to be some sense of that inner life. It's very important. So the concern often, and this is borne out certainly in one's early years, is that you meet girls that are bedazzling, but there's not a lot going on, but you can be sort of fooled by the looks. Maybe that's part and parcel why there are so many boyfriend-girlfriend relationships at a certain point in your life. Oh, I'm going out with so-and-so, it's great. Oh, God, it's not. Have you split up with them and all this kind of stuff? It's just part of it. It's okay. People shouldn't get too wound up about it. And, as a bloke, you're out there looking, because that's what blokes do. It's all right. And you've got to operate some way. We just tend to operate that way. It's not good or bad. It's just there's probably very good reasons for it. But as women mature, they can become, I think, even more beautiful than they were when they're in their pristine or their early condition. And of course, the attraction's all to do with having children. Yeah. That's what it's about. They say, don't they, that I think women are best childbearing years for women are 18 to 22. That certainly didn't happen here. It was a lot longer, in all that kind of stuff. And you look back, you read these things, don't you? Like Henry VIII's time, there's all these young girls getting married at 12 and having babies at 14 and 15. You think, oh, that's shocking. But it was standard for the day. And if they're, and under the conditions of the time, physiologically, you're better geared up to do it at that time. It seems awfully rapid that you've only been around for 15 years and then you're a mum. And of course, now we talk about all the psychological pressure, certainly of young couples having to bring up children with all the weights that are brought down upon them, courtesy of all the financial commitments that are going to be sucked out of their life, which detracts from their ability to raise their children well, with kindliness, because they're in a state of anxiety about finances all the bloody time in supposedly a land of plenty. Yet again, another sort of part of it. But I don't mind. The other thing as well with women with makeup, as a bloke, when you're young, you would never say anything about it. But as you get older, you can sometimes say to your partner or whatever, I think that's a bit, they will ask you more as well, I think, as you get a little bit older. Your opinion might be worth something. And generally, for me personally, a little bit of makeup can be magic. Too much is always the big error. When it's sort of happy medium, gone a little bit over. Oh, but don't do it. Just, you're this age, just be it. Be the age. And it's very attractive because what it does, it sends out signals of confidence to people, to the men.
That's right.
Go, I like this. That woman's really comfortable in the way she is, and therefore I'm really comfortable around her too. And it's good. There's no striving to impress. You don't need to do that. I don't think, anyway.
Well, when I've got to the age of...
No, go on.
Carry on, Nathan. No. Well, very quickly, when I got to the age of noticing the female sex, my dear old dad took me to one side and said, Remember, son, Boy Scouts and Girl Guides. And remember that, you won't go far wrong. No, he didn't say it actually, but that's it, part of the gag. Just think about it. Boy Scouts and Girl Guides. That's my uncle told me
It's
that
just
one.
another one of those jokes, Nathan, that falls into a certain space. There's a sort of space that these jokes fall into.
Yeah.
It comes from, Class 8B smut lessons for your university degree course, Year 3 prep.
Yes.
Prep lesson.
I tell you
Absolutely.
who is aged well is Twiggy. She really does look better now than when she was younger. She looks very mature, and a woman who my bottom jaw drops, and that is Catherine Deneuve. She's still alive, actually, in France. Now, Catherine Deneuve, when she was younger. Catherine Deneuve, she was an actress. She's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous-looking woman. But she sort of has a presence about her, and I think that as you get older, you care more about feelings, because when you're younger, you don't, because we're new in our bodies. This sounds a bit weird, but look at teenagers. They're often very uncomfortable in their bodies. But as we get older, we get comfortable in our bodies, and we move. This sounds another strange thing. Look at John Wayne. Apparently, he learnt how to move in films, because part of his acting wasn't acting, it was how he moved. The John Wayne walk and things like that. And I think that a true woman carries herself well, and it doesn't matter to me whether the person's got makeup or not. What really matters is if they've got a sincere heart. That's what really matters the most. Sincerity and honesty are the two things.
What's that thing about sincerity that they say in the acting profession? Sincerity, they said, if you can fake that, you can fake anything.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, Eric, and I think also, if you think about the pressures, the visual pressures that are put on both sexes, but obviously predominantly on women, to look and be a certain way, it's maybe it's just a part of the modern advertising issue. But basically, most of the advertising is to promote things that most of us don't really need. And like was mentioned a bit earlier, gosh, my brain's just gone completely blank. I hate it when that happens. I'm just about to pull.
Don't worry.
Well, it happened to me 3 times on the last podcast. Like last week, it was.
What happens when you're live on
there
air?
we go. Aunt Sally. I had the word Alice jump into my head. It's not Alice. It's Aunt Sally. When Aunt Sally was saying that she made her own clothes, right? That's quite cool, actually. I find that as an idea quite attractive. That girls would make their own clothes because they're good at it, and it's good. It's a cool thing to be able to do. I'm kind of impressed by that. It's great. So that's nice. I don't know what we're saying. Right,
I
so
alter my own trail.
Industry.
Yes.
Just go and buy your yards of cloth at the market and make your own stuff. Come on, get on with it.
Well,
Ooh,
I'll make my own. I alter my own.
Sorry, mate.
No, sorry, carry on. I was just going to say, yeah. Carry on. No, sorry, Ethan. No, please. Sorry.
Now I'm going to start now. You ready? Let's all talk at once. 1, 2,
Exactly
3,
right.
go. Now, go on.
After you, Nathan.
I was just going to say there, and I've completely fucking forgot what I was going to say. So
That's my fault. Sorry about that.
No, it's not. It's
I was waiting for that.
I know. Right, there we go. So if they're making their own clothes and their own makeup and stuff, I mean that also shows that they've got a skill set, that they're artistic, that they're capable of doing, I don't know the word for that, but do you know what I mean? So that to me says there's something about them, right?
Creative.
That adds
Yes.
to their character. That adds, and their character then adds to their beauty. So
They can sew a button on.
Is what I was.
It's
sort of
attractive
saying.
also in that they would be a good seamstress for looking after their sons and daughters' clothes and dealing with that. So
precisely.
that sends out a good family message, and we go, "I like that," and I do. It's naturally attractive, not in a sexual or physical way. It's a natural attract. I go, I like being around this competent person who just happens to be the bird that I'm going out with. This is cool, Deirdre, or whatever your name is. It's fantastic. Did you make that? That's brilliant. That's great. I work with my, whatever, and their mums are involved. I always love that sort of scene with brides where the mothers get involved with sort of getting all the dress right and all that kind of stuff. I love that. I just love witnessing it and just being around it and go, that's so fantastic. It really is. It's just a magical little moment. It only happens on one day for brides, or should only be once, but You know, I mean, it's just good. And when weddings are pretty interesting events for all sorts of reasons, because everybody, apart from Uncle Frederick, of course, behaves really well. Uncle Frederick got to the bar too early, and of course everything goes very pear-shaped during the speeches. If you have an Uncle Frederick in your life, I fortunately didn't have one, but you know what I mean. But overall, they're absolutely marvellous. They're marvellous events, and everybody's always happy at a wedding. Well, they were at mine anyway. I was, and all the ones I've been to, people are just, there's that lovely buoyant feeling. You can't have it every day. That's what makes it special. But if you see it, if you witness it and all those sorts of things, and dressmaking and all these old-fashioned skills, which are really good ones, who knows, we might be called upon to actually revive them for real, because everything's getting economically so. The life of habit and convenience is being taken away from us. That aspect might not be such a bad thing, to be quite honest. Although people there might be agony ants receiving letters saying, I can't make any clothes, I can't go out, I can't afford anything, what do I do? I'm going to kill myself. You'll get stuff like that. There'll be extreme cases of people going into meltdown over it, I would imagine, just like if you took their phones off them, which is really, I keep thinking about it all the time, like a national ban on smartphones for a week. And watch the whole nation could just be, you'd be going mad. There'd literally be riots everywhere. It'd be just incredible.
How do we survive without them?
Sorry, mate, just quickly, I think people have now become that dependent on their smartphones. They wouldn't know what to do if they were taken off them. I genuinely, I think they'd be lost. I mean, do you know what annoys me as well about smartphones in particular is when you've got a woman pushing a pram, crossing roads, and she's taking more notice of her phone than her baby in the pram.
I've seen them in cars.
No, because if you're on the receiving end of the text message, there's loads of spelling mistakes in it and everything.
Well,
either push the pram.
I can't text for shit, so that's I'm terrible with texting. But
you know this thing. Have we discussed it here? This thing about the backlight on phones. This is part of one of these second level, apparently, sort of derogatory things in life, but it's actually primary, and it's to do with, I don't know if I was just talking to someone about this earlier today, so I'm just mentioning it now because we just got sort of slightly into this space. It's to do with the history of Las Vegas, which is absolutely bizarre, because Las Vegas is near Los Alamos, where they were developing atomic weapons, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the story, I don't know if you ever heard this, it's a wonderfully labyrinthine interwoven thing. It even relates all the way through to Bitcoin later on in history. It's absolutely bizarre, but it's true. So you've got a guy called Bugsy Siegel, who they made a film about him with Warren. I can't remember his name now. They made a film about Bugsy Siegel. He's the guy who went out from the Jewish mafia from New York to build Las Vegas in the middle of a bloody desert, right? It's not, you go, what are you going into a desert for? They weren't bothered about it. The reason they went into the desert is it was near Los Alamos. And most of those guys were the forerunners of Mossad agents in America. So they go there because they want to go and hang out at the bars and the cafes where all the rocket scientists are hanging out, and they want to get in with them and all that kind of stuff because, something's going on down there and they've got to be involved. So that's what they do. And there's another guy called Mo Dalitz, a Jewish gangster and a money guy. He pays for the building of Las Vegas. And while they're out there building all these big casinos and stuff like that, they have the slot machine, which we're all familiar with. I guess they still exist. They're huge. I think they're still, per square yard, the biggest money earners in any casino to this day. Slot machines, amazing, really. What they did was, from studies that they were getting back from, I think, some of their connections with screens and light and all this other stuff in the scientific community, probably at Los Alamos or whatever, they discovered, let's just use that word because I don't know the exact backstory, that if you change the lights on a slot machine and gave it a blue backlight on the visuals, it caused the people to pump more money into the machine because the blue light gives people a dopamine hit. And then what they did was, so they all get lit up with blue lights. Then they block off all the sunlight, which of course reawakens your consciousness when you're in the sun and reconnects you to the world. We don't want that. They take all the clocks off. And what they found was, instead of like the Italian mob of going up to people and sticking a gun to their head and taking the money off them as a protection racket, they just wheel people in, give them free food, stick them in front of a slot machine, and the people would just literally take all the money in their wallet and give it to them via the slot machine because they're having a dopamine hit. and they didn't want it to stop. That's why they don't come off. I went over to an enormous one in Mohegan Sun in New England. It's owned by a Red Indian. Well, I'm saying Red Indian. Yeah, I'll say it because it's not an Indian tribe. It's a Native American Indian tribe own all these casinos in the States. It's amazing. They make an absolute fortune out of it. It's the most colossal place. It was just sort of ridiculous, really. And I saw people who had been just sat there shoveling money into slot machines. We walked around for like 2 hours looking. I came back. They were still sat there. Now, mobile phones, you can have any type of backlit color that you want. There's no reason to stop it. It could be green or it could be yellow. There'll be backlight colors that would probably promote heightened awareness and awakening and better cerebral performance. But no, they've chosen blue. Why? Because of the dopamine hit. So you've got these tragic scenes now where parents give the smartphones to their young children, which is deranged. It's absolutely deranged. They should really pass a law to say you can't have one until you're 16. And I mean it. Seriously, why do you need one?
They did that, didn't they, with the online safety bill, just not for that.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, but they want them to have phones because the phone companies are going nuts because they've got billions and billions of dollars of phone sales to make there. So they're not going to be happy about that. So that's never going to happen now because everybody's got used to feeding at the trough, aren't they? But there are things where they've taken them off of sort of little 10-year-olds and they're having tantrums within a couple of minutes. They're going berserk because they don't have – their brain has got used to the dopamine hit all the time. It's got nothing to do with anything else. It's just a scientific thing. You stick in front of blue light and you like it. It's nice. Oh, this is really, really good, right? And all our computer screens that we're looking at right now, they're blue backlit, right? All of them. Yep. It could have been a different color.
Mine by doing that. That's my backlight.
Yeah, well, you know the night things that are on Windows or whatever, you get to a certain time and it goes orange to stop you. And I'm wearing orange glasses right now as I'm looking at your beautiful faces here on the screen because it stops all this dopamine hittage and stuff. I think it's an amazing sort of observation and truth about things. And at that level alone, forget all the stuff that we talk about in terms of details. If you've got a soporific, dumbed down, literally in this case. In other words, their brain waves are operating at a very low level. There's no point us knowing anything because when you communicate it to these people, they're just looking at them. They're not in this world. They're in the dopamine hit world permanently, and they've got them, and they've created through the use of a certain coloured light exactly the kind of compliant, addicted people. They're so addictive, these things, and it's not good. And I was trying to, when did the iPhone come out? Is it about 20 years ago? It's this century, isn't it? They weren't in the 1990s.
Yeah, I think it was 99. I might be wrong. I'm not.
I remember having a Nokia which just made phone calls and texts, and I was pretty amazed at that. And I put off getting one for years, and I got a Nokia about 98. I think that was the first mobile phone I had, and I didn't get a smartphone until about 2012, something like that. Didn't even have one. And I don't really use it as a phone. I actually use it for just tracking Telegram messages. That's all I use it for, really, which is quite useful. But I think all these subtle things and the bias in all of them is to deplete and degrade the quality of life. And, of course, because they're on the phones all the time, the old English thing of jumpers for goalposts, let's go kick a football around, ooh, I've got dog crap all over my jumper because that happened loads. Where have you been? I used to get, I'm sorry, Mum, we were just playing football and I slipped in it all. Oh, it's disgusting, get out of it. That kind of stuff. It's all part of growing up, right? I've just been let loose on a heath. I'll be back at 7 o'clock. No one had any phones. Didn't have any of that, right? It's almost as if the phones have they go, oh, your kid's safer now, but it's created the paranoid society. You've got to have one now because you're not safe. Everybody's just sort of scared of everybody else because of it.
How many times you got on the computer and think, I'll spend half an hour on here, and you've about an hour and a half, 2 hours, because they're addictive. Blue light.
It just maintains your foot. Just while we're talking about this as well, Chris, because I think this is going to go into what you're on about. Paul's comment that you just put up there, this is quite an important
I'll just
one.
go straight.
It's relevant. So blue lighting affects sleep patterns. That's why LED streetlights affect melatonin. That's another thing that falls in line to this. It keeps you awake, right? So the blue light is responsible for keeping your brain stimulated, not necessarily focused, but it keeps you in that. It's almost hypnotic, but it's I think it also contributes to destruction of the retinas as well. I think it degrades your retinas over time. And we're looking at smart screens, computer screens, and LED lights everywhere. I mean, I've got LED lights in my room. You can probably see behind me, but I mean, I'm trying to keep it behind things. But so all this is going to affect people's visions, people's concentration. It's going to keep them hooked into the system. All of what you've just said there, Paul, absolutely bang on. Sorry to interrupt you, Chris. I just thought it was an interesting one to.
That's all right.
It's interesting you talking about the streetlights, though. Sorry, Eric.
Yeah, I was just going very quickly. DJ Beto said the iPhone came out in 2007.
Really?
So there we go.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah.
Well, okay. I thought it was earlier.
So if it's only 20 years, less than 20 years, and it's just taken over. And they are amazing bits of technology but obviously the amount of investment that's gone into it because it's their great big tracking system. So there's just been unbridled investment in all that to create these chips that are microscopic in size and do all this kind of stuff. Of course, it's scuppered their men landed on the moon Apollo mission when you find out that an iPhone's got like 10,000 times the computing power of the Apollo moon mission. Going, yeah, you didn't get there, mate. Shut up, put a sock in it, and all that kind of stuff. But what you mentioned about streetlights. Oh, God, that car park lighting. I hate it. You have it in airports.
Horrible.
It's wretched. It's in line with the boxy architecture. This dead space. It creates a dead space. And the other thing that drives, I'm thinking that they're still going on. Not that I drive much at night. They started to put, maybe they still put, these blue tinged LED type headlamps into all these cars. You seen this stuff?
Yes.
It's a very harsh, cold light. I'm just going, why are you doing that? It's awful.
But have you noticed as well? So there's Quantum of Conscience as a YouTube channel. Have a look at his stuff if you get around to it. But he pointed out years and years ago, about 5 years ago, that the street lights and the lights that they're putting in the cars, all of these LED lights, they've got a magenta tinge to them. It's like a purple tinge. Right, so and you'll notice this as you're going down the motorway, especially on the night time, when obviously they're glaring at you and a horrible glare that comes off the cars now. That can't be good for your retinas. That can't be good for your focus and concentration. It's going to cause crashes. But a lot of them, if you look at them at the right angle, they've got a magenta tinge. It's like this purple tinge. And again, I think that there's something. There has to be something malevolent in that. A lot of the ones that are white to start with, over time, will turn to this like purplish color, and it's just. I mean, it's quite bizarre. I mean, what's behind that? If we're looking,
well, they replaced. Did you have a period where they replaced all your streetlights with this stuff? They did round here.
Where they took the nice orange ones?
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, done it round here. Yeah, they're horrible.
All of them in Middlesbrough now.
So I've got this big ring of trees around the garden perimeter that have got to be taken down because they're just out of order. I've got 17 Leylandii trees, and each one's 25, 30 feet. So it's the size of it's higher than a normal semi-detached house, right? They're just ridiculous. But the reason I've kept them is that they put these lights in, and that light shines right onto the garden at night time. I don't want to go in it because of that light. And when they put them up, I've got my chainsaw, and I'm looking at this thing, and I'm going, can we have a mass chainsawing of these lamps? I even live in a cul-de-sac. We don't have any through traffic. I don't want this. Why don't we just have it in darkness?
Exactly the same, Paul. Exactly the same.
The darkness will breed criminals. Yeah, well, I've got a baseball bat, right? So people go, oh, you want some protection for your house? I've got this security rig that was in the house when we got here. One day, the alarm went off. This is about 10 years ago. I tried to turn it off. I couldn't. I spent 20 minutes. So I went, sod this. I went upstairs. I got a hammer, and I just smashed it off the outside of the house. And the destruction that I wrought is still there to this day. I detest anything electronic. It's garbage. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put up a proper hand ring bell like you get in a pub at the front of our door. You ring it, get the postie, ding, ding, ding. And I was thinking I want to get everybody here with one at a different tone. So, oh, that's number 22. Ding, 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 dung, 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 dung. Like the whole bell-ridden street. The other thing I do as part of my sort of anachronistic nature is as it gets darker of an evening, we don't put the electric lights on. We have a lot of candles, and I will just fill the lounge with candles. It's the most chilling thing. It's brilliant. Reading, if you can get enough candles together. There's a guy called Gary Fraun's written some very interesting books about maths and all sorts of stuff. You may have heard of him. I saw an interview with him. I think it was with Richard Vobes or someone else. He was talking about reading by candlelight and why it's so much better for you. And you're thinking, I've got to even focus on this, but you do. And you can actually get a mirror and set up like a reading rig with candles, and you'll look,
so
everything's better. It's better. Yeah. It's just it's the warmest light. And if you ever get a candle and just start concentrating on the flame, it's a brilliant exercise for your mind, because when you start looking at it, it's not just golden, yellow, white. You start to see all these other colours coming off of the top, and it's a very good exercise. How many colours can you see? Just chill out and look at that candle. I mean, it's kind of a meditative process, but it calms you down. It creates clarity, and there's tremendous things, and you can actually, with your mind, affect the flame. You can move it. You can change its colour. You can begin to do that, because this is to do with frequencies and vibrations and all of these things. And why is it that candles, you know, they're just wonderfully romantic out there? I think of these Dickensian houses, and it's dark. I'm going up the stairs with a big, you know, the butler with a big candelabra and all those things flickering and the shadows on the wall. Isn't it cool? It's great. It's like there's a story taking place. You're only going to bed with electric lights, dead. It kills everything dead. Fluorescent lights. Ugh. In kebab shops. Oh. Kebabs in me. Wow. Yes. I haven't eaten a kebab in years. Oh, they're just amazing. They're not really, but they are. I've eaten them in Greece. I don't mean the actual substance Greece. I mean in the country of Greece. Of course, you can say, well, we all eat them in Greece. They're stunning. Open air kebabs cooked by people in Greece. Wow. What a way to cook.
It's not a bleeding great elephant leg, is it? It's just sort of...
Nah.
I've had them in Greece. Marlene said, I really couldn't care less what a man think about makeup. My mother was a model, so it was around me. So your mother was a model.
That's
Marlene
okay.
Followed that up with another comment. Hang on.
Where is it? It is. I go natural too. I just enjoy putting it on. Yep. I wear it for me.
Right.
Yeah,
it's the end. It's the end of that sentence. You wear it for you. Right. That's the right reason to do it. That's, you know, if it makes you feel good. Again, I don't have a problem with women wearing
maybe
makeup.
I want to play stirrer here. I don't think we do anything for ourselves at all. I think we do.
I think so. Interesting.
I don't think so. I just don't think so. I know. You think about it obsessively when you're young. You're all me, and then you find out you're miserable and kind of stuff like that. I think we do things for others, or I think when you get that frame set going, I think it's a better situation. Who cares what I think? But that's what I feel about it. We've talked about men being dressed properly because it's not. It's about other people having to look at you. I'm not against makeup. I actually like the difference.
Yeah.
I'm not against it because I like it when women have got makeup on, because there are times when they don't. And the contrast is wonderful. I don't mind that at all. Well, it's a bit like I'm going out. It's a special thing. And it's a bit like the bloke says, I'm going to put on a good suit and I'm going to shower this time. And I'm going to have a good shave and I'm going to be sharp. And you think you're doing it because it makes you feel good, because you're, in a way, contributing to everybody else. I mean, it's a bit like if you have a wedding and you say, turn up in anything you like, jeans, T-shirts, I couldn't care less. No, it's important. Okay, a wedding's a special event. I accept that. But to provide those opportunities where people can display themselves at a higher level than they normally would, I think it's good. Because the women do get excited about it. They're always talking about their makeup. I love hearing that sort of chat. It's obviously very feminine. It's great. It's a contrast. So I just like it. I don't care what it is, as long as it's feminine. If it's
I agree.
brutalist and moving in the masculine direction, I'm out. I can't be bothered with it. And some people, I don't care what you think, but well, that's fine. I won't be around. You know, it's a big world. You can do what you like in a way. But I'm just saying, overall, the tone of society is better. And you know, I still think the Victorians dressed great because it was all covered up. I'm serious.
I agree. I mean, Cary Grant, who was always immaculately dressed, even in North by Northwest, he was always wearing a suit. And he said he always looks smart because other people have got to look at you. That's quite an
was some
interesting
suit.
statement.
That was
Yeah.
a great suit that he was wearing in North by Northwest. I must have watched that about 6 or 7 times.
It's brilliant. Isn't it?
Eve Marie Saint is so sexy in that film. It's absolutely outrageous.
Yes. And she's still
that
alive.
Dialogue, it's amazing. It's wonderfully subtle. I mean, it's shot through with Hitchcock's allusions to intimate things all the time, including
And
the
the
closing
train
shot where a train goes into a
goes in
tunnel.
the tunnel. Yes,
and all that kind of stuff. But the banter between them is extremely suggestive, but in the most polite way. I would have never got it as a kid. It was just an action story, right? But you watch it, and it's just that film is so fantastic. I think it's one of the best edited films. You just start off and you can't stop watching it. It's just this really simple story of a chase, basically, and it just keeps on. It's a brilliant film, absolutely brilliant.
What was the film again?
North by Northwest.
North by Northwest. The music's by Bernard Herrmann, who did a lot of music for him. His last film was the music he did for Taxi Driver. Great music, crap film. I hated the film. It's just a miserable, depressing.
Well, it was depressing,
but the music's amazing. The music's fantastic. I used to have the album, the music, and it's just great. Particularly if you're in your car late at night and you've got it on there and you're driving around some reasonably empty city space. It's like you're in the movie. It puts you in the movie. You can pretend I'm kind of in this haunted, bleak space. It's very good at evoking that. Wonderfully good
Alfred
music.
Hitchcock.
Brilliant.
I mean, the scene where he's standing waiting to meet somebody, and that somebody is actually an aeroplane that's going to come down and spray a load of crap all over him. And
have you seen that, Nathan?
Oh, it's
You've not seen the crop, so you need to go.
Crop
It'll be on
sprayers.
YouTube as a clip. It's the crop spraying scene from it.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it's cut. There's no music in it from North by Northwest.
Right, okay,
and he gets off a bus.
Yeah.
A bus pulls up. He gets off this bus. The bus drives off, and it's the camera at the time must have been up a crane because it's looking down on him from 45-degree angle, sort of up in the sky.
That's it. It's
and
brilliant.
you just get this sense of complete emptiness on these planes. And there's no music, and it's just cutting and talking and moving, and the tension's just building. You don't know quite. I mean, if you've seen it a few times, you know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But if you haven't seen it, and it's not as if it's a wham bam pow huge explosion thing, it's just about real tension. And if there's one thing Hitchcock was brilliant at, it was getting you to think about what was going to happen as opposed to what did happen, and that's where the magic comes from. It's like you don't want to see the monster. It should be just in the dark, half
imagination.
out of shot all the time. And it does your head in. You go behind you. It's all that wonderful anxiety and control of, we enter into a cinema to be
look
deceived,
at that
and
shower.
that's fine.
That's right. Look at Psycho with the shower scene where you see the shadow of him knifing the girl, and then you see the blood running down and you don't actually see her being killed. Your imagination does the rest. Very clever. Hitchcock was bloody skillful at things like that. It really was.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I love most of nearly all of his. He did the first edition of, didn't he do 39 Steps with Robert Donut, as I call him.
Donut, yeah. Donut.
I mean, that's about 1939. The speed of it, in terms of storytelling, is quite breathtaking, actually. By the day, it must have been completely bowled over audiences because it moves at such a lick, this chase that they're at. I just thought, wow, this is absolutely, it's tremendous stuff. So as an editor, I think in that shower scene, there's something like 50 cuts in 30 seconds. It's just cutting and cut. It's just one short scene after another. So the whole of the experience speeds up because you're just moving from one shot to another very, very quickly. And you get the sense of her terror. It's pretty... my mum and dad wouldn't let me watch it. It was on TV once about 1969. Can I watch it? No, you've got to go to bed. And of course I went to bed terrified because there was this terrible thing and I couldn't see it. So it was even worse in my head. It must be really awful, that. Yeah. Brilliant.
Well, I saw King Kong on television. It scared the living shits out of me.
What, the first one from the 1930s?
That scared me shitless. I was only about 7 or 6 at the time, but it was very clever, and that was the first film my dad went to see, I think, and it was very clever the way they did it.
Yep.
Especially when you see the fur going with his tension at the back of his neck, and the technicians did that with I think it's Stop Something film. Very, very clever.
Stop motion animation, I think it's called.
That's it. Yeah. Because they showed you the hand. Have you seen the hand with Fay Ray sitting in it? and it was all done by
Yeah.
hydraulics, and blokes moved it, and it was bloody very, very clever. And did you know some of that film was banned in some of South American countries because they thought a foot was actually trampling the people to death. They actually thought it was so real.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because remember it was in the 30s. But
You can't beat a film with a giant monkey, can you? Any film that's got a really great big monkey in it, I'm in. Count me in. I love it.
I'm going to correct you there. It's not a monkey, it's an ape. But there you go, son. That's my.
Yeah.
No, it's a monkey. When he said, I know you're right, technically, but it doesn't sound as good, does it?
It was
Whereas
that.
if it's a giant monkey, it's just grand.
Yes, but although I don't like Spielberg that much as a person, when he did the film, what was it now? That one with Hooper. Simple word with the lorry. Jewel. He did Jewel. That was a film that was, I have to admit, was bloody clever the way that was filmed, and he had to do it on a very tight budget and in a very short time. And have you ever seen the film Jewel?
Yeah, it's where he's plagued by an animated truck.
Yes.
There's a truck out to kill him, isn't there?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. And what gets Spielberg said this, but I didn't recognise it before. The truck has got plates from all different states on it. I didn't notice that in the first film. But the things that go through the chap's mind, you actually would think yourself, but you never see the driver. That's the clever part about it. You see his feet, but you never. And you see his arm as he beckons him along. But it was Dennis Hooper, wasn't it? Dennis Hooper.
Yeah, I think it was something.
Yeah,
it was Hooper, the guy with the moustache.
Yeah,
Can't remember
that's
his
right.
first name.
But you don't see the lorry driver. That's what makes it frightening. You never see the driver, and and I think that Spielberg copied Hitchcock on a lot of that. I really do think he's copied, where he builds up the tension and things like that. Because what I like is Dennis Hooper's driving along and it's nice and quiet, and he'd overtaken this lorry first of all, and it's through the sort of like deserts of America, and you're just sitting there and you're relaxed. And he said, he said, got past him okay, and he puts the radio on, and you think, oh well, Then suddenly you hear this, oop, and he looks in his mirror, and this bloody great lorry tight on his boot. It puts you on edge. But back to Streetlights. Aunt Sally has said, I strongly suspect they are. This is quite interesting what she said. I strongly suspect they are deliberately adjusting the light settings to screw up our eyesight. I've noticed dogs and cats are losing their sight at young ages. Oh, the poor little loves. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. That is terrible.
Really?
Yes. And
I mean, if you can't see, you can't really, do much in terms of freedom, can you? I mean, well, you can, but it's certainly restrictive on your ability to
that's right.
partake in society. But yeah, I mean,
they replaced our street lights during the dooflop, the lockdown. And we got here.
I mean, why can't we get back to burning braziers swinging from some tree limb? Those big cast iron things with flames everywhere. They're very well. They do something to you. Like at Lewis every year down here, they have a big bonfire night thing where they burn effigies of the Pope and stuff like that. You ever seen all this kind of stuff? It's massively big. It's huge. It goes all the way back to bonfire night and probably even predates that. They all get dressed up as people of that period, and they do these fantastic sort of. I think they burnt Klaus Schwab the other year.
Oh, I know that. Yes.
Yeah, they're huge. Yeah. They're brilliantly done. They must spend ages and then they just burn them. And it's the most fantastic signal to send out. This is all you're fit for. Yes, it's quite a thing. Lots of men walking through the thing, tromping through the streets with these burning, flaming torches. But you can't beat a bit of that. It does something physiologically to you. It does. It has an effect.
The old pagan traditions of the West Country, like the obios and things like that, they're closing. They're stopping now, and it's strange. We should keep those traditions
it erodes
going.
culture, mate. I mean, this is part of it. Again, going back to the destruction of family unit, destruction of national identity, etc., etc. That's just all part of it, isn't it? It's too.
We've got to leave the club, you see. We've been roped into a club, for want of a better word, called government and global control. They're running a big club. They're saying it's our club. You signed up into it at birth. The fact that you didn't know about it, we're never even going to tell you. And so now that we're aware that we're in this really bad youth club, which is really what it is, and it's run by, spivs, we're going, I don't think so. We're just going to stand over here. We're going to do our thing. And it's moving that. As we said, the problem, it's the same thing, I think, with people voting for political parties. The habit has built up over such a long period of time. I'm more and more aware of the fact that the only way they can succeed is by going slow, which is what they have done, because you don't realize after 20 years that your daily habits have subtly changed. It's not a long time really in their thinking. They can basically mangle a civilization up in 40 to 60 years. It doesn't take that long. Certainly not with the technology they've got now to influence people's thinking.
Yeah.
It was slower in the past because all you had was newspapers and a lot of people couldn't read. But it happened. And once they got sort of mass media, and then they educated everybody to read and write because industry needed numerate and literate people, fine with all that kind of stuff. So it produced some other problems for them, like people like us are going off and reading the wrong books as far as they're concerned. But the great mass of people, of course, have gone along with it. Not that they're bad people, it's just the way it's been. And they've been able to speed it up. Now, with the phones and the technology and the interactive nature of things are changing so fast, but you're so gripped by it as it's taking place. People don't come out of the auditorium and go, hang on, this place sucks. What am I doing? It's a really comfy seat and the food was good or whatever, and I'm all comfy, but I'm going to go outside into the rain where it's cold and I can feel life on my cheeks, as it were, metaphorically speaking. Not those cheeks, Eric. And,
don't get him started again.
I can't help it. I think I'm programmed now, Nathan. I can't help it. Every time I think we've gotten away from it, I mention that we've gotten away from it, knowing that it's going to pull us back to it. I don't know why I do it. I'm hypnotised. He's got me.
What you've just said there, mate, which is basically all. So, yeah, you're right. I had a discussion about this earlier with my daughter, actually. This is interesting. But first of all, yeah, the smartphones are redirecting people's attentions. So while all of the changes are taking place in real time, they're not paying any attention to it because they're on a smartphone, right? So that it's like a smoke and mirrors effect, right? The other thing is, so I think we mentioned on yesterday's show about all these, carbon copy retail parks going up. The towns are dying, a lot of them, but everywhere you're seeing the same shops going, all these big chained, Aldi's and, PC, I'm not going to go around, but you know the types, right? These retail parks, which are all big businesses, no independence in there whatsoever. It's all the same carbon copy shops. And I sat today having a coffee with my daughter and I said, doesn't it bother you? And she's only young, to be fair, but hear me out. And she's, no. I said, if you had the chance to go into a town centre that was thriving or a retail park, which one would you choose? And she's like, well, it doesn't bother me. And I thought, well, it's quite sad, but it's when the new generations are coming through, the old world has gone anyway. Then they don't miss it. They're not likely to stand for it because it's already gone. It's a thing that they weren't familiar with to start with. So all of this new crap, all of these cube buildings of brick and steel, just artificial copy and paste replacement for society. They don't notice it. They don't care. I did get.
They can't care, can they? For the reasons you've just said. Like we didn't when we were teenagers in the 70s. I didn't. No, I never listened to my mum and dad's music. It's not for us really. So we listened to other stuff.
Well, I guess where the media is concerned, yeah. But in terms of architecture and the oldie worldy cities, I mean, I've always preferred to be in somewhere that's historical, somewhere that's got character.
I agree with you. Well, I'm the same.
No character. There's no life to it anymore.
It's horrible. I tell you, if you go to somewhere like Waltham Abbey, now Waltham Abbey is not like the shambles of Yorkshire, but it has got jetties. And that is where the upper floor is wider than the lower floor, and the reason they did that is because they had to have a bigger floor area, and the weight of the walls kept the beams in equilibrium. Sorry, I'm getting a bit technical, but the thing is,
that's your architectural.
That's it. And you've got carvings on the side of buildings and things like that. Mm-hmm. And the sad thing is you've got in between that, you've got sort of 60s, because in the 60s they've ruined a lot. And there's no banks there. Most of the places are boarded up. They've got, what is it? I think they've got a nail bar. They've got a massage parlour there. Thai massage, whatever that is. It's just... The only thing that draws people there is the co-op, and a chemist, and that's about it. Because they come out of the quack shop and then go straight down with their little doggy bag to get their with their prescriptions to get their little doggy bag of petrochemical shit to shut down their.
Oh, don't we? I mean, you've got to have your daily dose of drugs and crap, haven't you? I mean, but all of these, but here's another one. Going back to the whole beauty thing, and yeah, we know it's a cover for something else. But a lot of the town centres are now they're now being taken over by nail bars and Turkish barbers and
Yeah, that's it.
I'm not going to go into it because we know what I'm talking about. But it's I mean, that's an obsession with beauty, I think. From a large perspective, from the outside of it, I mean,
and money laundering, Nathan.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to avoid that, but which it is, to be fair. But I mean, so people can't afford to pay their bills. They can't afford to stock up on food, but they can go and get their nails and hair done, so it's nice and trim. And it doesn't make sense to me either. That all the money that it's generated in the fake beauty industry, where they're going to get Botox lips and stuff. What do you not like eating anymore? That's maybe that's the me thing. I don't know, but I mean, it's
all cafes.
The cities,
But everywhere you go is cafes as well. Loads of them. Cafes where I live. Loads. I mean, you go to Waltham Cross, you're sport for choice. Same with Waltham Abbey. Loads of cafes.
I don't mind that, Chris, because I like to I think who doesn't like eating, right, and drinking. I like to go to the and get a cake and a coffee or whatever, and go for a meal. I don't mind that. It's something to do that's not just walking around a husk of a town. But it's around here we've got the opposite problem. I mean, it's like Paul, you've mentioned about pubs in the past. Our local is a 30-minute walk because all the other ones have shut down.
Yeah.
That and so here. That's and even that's a chain pub. That's not an independent pub that does homemade food and stuff. That's a chain pub.
Oh, food in the pubs. There's the food. All it does is come straight out the freezer, straight into a microwave, and straight out again. Yep. That's all. It's microwave crap. Yep. And I certainly wouldn't eat at what's that place?
Wetherspoons.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat there.
I recently went to Whitby. I had a chat with a woman who was working in like a little small cafe, and she said the same thing. She said she used to work in Wetherspoons, and she couldn't abide it anymore because it wasn't real food, if you want to call it that. It was all artificial, and even she would admit that basically it's microwave. It's microwave meals. It's just a bigger microwave, and all they're doing is heating it up.
I won't touch microwave food. To me, that's not food. Greg's, that is all. I wouldn't touch it. Greg's is awful.
Well, here's another one. So it was Greg's that I was sitting with my daughter earlier, but I'm looking around thinking this is bizarre. Greg's used to be you go in for a pasty and you leave, and this place it's a proper seating area that's absolutely jam packed full, and you're looking at the food that people are consuming, and I'm just thinking, wow, they're basically shut down all the independent ones just about, and they've replaced it with their own crap, and now we're going in there as if it's okay to eat. I'm trying to be nice, but it's rubbish.
I know what you mean.
It
is garbage. But,
there's no other way of putting it. And Wetherspoons, okay. I guess a lot of people go to Wetherspoons because it's quick and convenient and cheap, which is all right for a little bit. But people say to me, "Oh, do you want to go for a drink?" And we'll go to Wetherspoons. It's like, no, I'd rather pay £5 for a pint in a pub that's got an atmosphere that's different than pay £2.50 for it in Wetherspoons where it's heaving and artificial. I just don't like it in there. It's
just plastic. That's all it is. But
I was talking yesterday to someone in the States, a guy slightly older than us, wonderful guy, and he was from Texas, I think, and we talked for about an hour and a half about all sorts of things. And for some reason, we just got onto pubs, English pubs, because he didn't know a lot about them, about the history or the culture of them, and why they were really an intrinsic and should remain an intrinsic part of English and Scottish and Welsh life and Irish life, of course. And I think what I was talking about, it got me thinking about what it was like when I used to go to pubs. Now, I'm not a big drinker, never have been, even when I was young.
Yeah.
But I remember being sort of going down to Leeds of a Saturday evening. We'd all sort of jump on a bus. I'm 19 at the time or something, wearing a suit I'd paid 10 quid for from the Oxfam shop, which was one of the best suits I ever had. It was a sort of second-hand dinner jacket suit. I looked fantastic, lads, I've got to tell you. Just absolutely felt brilliant in it. So even then, going out in a suit with it had this silver ribbon running down the side. It was a sort of cool thing to wear. People were all buying things from Oxfam because we couldn't afford to go into C&A. Far too expensive. But the whole energy of the city, it's probably still like that now, although I've got this sort of view of it just being full of semi-clad girls being sick in gutters and blokes fighting or whatever's going on. I don't know. But I just remember back then, the whole sort of liveliness of it is that a pub crawl, because he'd not heard of that, they don't do that in the States, was basically what the evening was all about. So we go, right, where are we going first? We're going there. You sat him there for one. You go, right, it looks a bit lively. Let's go up that one. So you have a 5-minute walk. You're talking on the walk. You get to the next one. You have another or half. I didn't go, drinking all of them and everything like that. But you're bombing around until you get about 9 o'clock and you go, I don't want to walk anymore. And you end up in a place. There used to be bands on everywhere. There may still be. I mean, they actually changed the music regulations, didn't they? So that you could only have 2 performers or something in the pub, 2 guys. And that's when all this electronic pap came out with people with electronic drum machines. I'm going, this is no good. I don't want this. And so a lot of the energy, just the normal communal energy of life, got shut down. Oh, these people are drunk. We've got to send the coppers out. So what? Big deal. It was no big deal. It's just people living and growing up. They go on as if, we're at World War IV or something had started. It was absolutely... The moaning about it is just ridiculous. And I don't know if it's gone. I don't know what it's like. I mean, the idea that I would go on a pub crawl in London, of course, is insane. I would never do it then, and I certainly won't be doing it now. I'm far too old for that sort of stuff. But it was a very exciting night out. It was pretty cool. You'd bump into other people, and some you get on with, and some you go, I think we better leave now because it's getting a bit edgy around here. All that kind of stuff would just happen. And it was just like being in life. You're just in it. You go. All the beer was English warm beer, hand pulled, Tetleys and Timmy Taylor's stuff, and some guys, of course, were just obsessed. I'm not drinking that beer. It's some already. I'm going up there. We've got to go over there. And all that kind of stuff. And it was brilliant. Actually, I remember we used to jump on the train from East Leeds, and we'd go over to York. Because it's about 20 miles away. It's on the main line. The Flying Scotsman used to trundle down there loads. We go over to York, get there, go to the Shambles, all that kind of stuff. Brilliant nights out. I don't know if people still do that sort of stuff. I suppose they do. I must sound like a right old fart. But I just thought it was good. The beer wasn't too expensive. Nobody really moaned about it too much. And none of us really drink lager. Even though it was out by then, I didn't. I couldn't be bothered with any of that stuff.
Lager always gives me a headache anyway. Beer, I can...
Yeah, me too. I'm hungover after 3 gulps of it. I mean, Stella Artois is known as wife beater around here. Yeah, pint of wife beater, please, and all that kind of... Because it's just weird. Yes. I don't know why I'm banging on about all this. I think it's... What I was saying is that I think I've said it before, Hilaire Belloc, who sort of stomped around here 100 years or so ago, said... England, he said, if you lose your pubs, you will lose England. Because it was in the pubs where there was a concentrated form of English life with shouting and political disputes, lots of smoking. I mean, I'm not into it, but, when they cut off... So what have they done to attack the pub? They said, you can't smoke cigarettes there.
Right.
Now, I didn't like coming back stinking of tobacco in my shirts, but I have a thing called a washing machine, and it's not actually that difficult. And if I didn't want to go out, I wouldn't. And a lot of smokers just felt sort of put upon. I don't mind if people want to smoke. Get stuck in.
I mean, it was a killer blow to a lot of pubs, especially...
Of course it was.
Because it was a social hub. So, you said why you don't know why you're bringing it up. I know exactly why you're bringing it up, because it's a tradition that is, I suppose, tied in with English tradition. But it's not just that. It was a social thing. It was... something that you would enjoy doing. But now it just feels empty. There's no character to a lot of pubs. It's just you go in. I mean, I used to go in, country pubs and just enjoy the atmosphere in there whilst I had a meal, and you didn't feel rushed, and you felt as if you could enjoy it. It was home cooked and all the rest of it. And now it's just not. They've lost it. And so I tend to just think, well, it doesn't really bother me now if I go in, because there's no atmosphere in there. There's no character to a lot of them. It's especially the
it's all plastic
commercial chain pubs. Yeah, they've just ruined it. I mean, so
there's
well, they don't have the same sort of life in them that they used to have.
Right.
There's still life, and people are still having a good time, but most of them they have to be good restaurants to work. I go to one every fortnight here. The food's fantastic. We met the chef the other day, young lad, thanked him for the Greek meatballs, which were outstanding. They were really great. I said, "This is the best food." I said, "We've been coming here about 2 or 3 years, and this is the best dish ever." So they go through different seasons. They have French season and Italian season and Greek season.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, and it's all cooked on site, and they tell you whether they've got stuff, and everybody's quite particular. And I like it, and I'm at a certain age in life where that's what you kind of do. But the kind of place that was absolutely heaving when I was young was different to the way it's heaving now. I can't describe. It was heaving not because of music, but because the volume of conversation was so high. It was human energy, right? A lot of human energy there. People really, bellowing stuff out, disputes over here, and people, just normal, English folks out doing good stuff. And getting plugged into a crowd that's animated is a blast. It's fantastic. You don't know what's going to come up. I mean, sometimes it's not so much fun. It can go a bit pear-shaped, but that's why you go, right? But overall, it was just great. I got threatened a few times. People going to throw pool balls at us and stuff like that and beat the shit out of us at a chip shop. Oh, don't do that, mate. I've just finished. I want to go home. And it just used to happen, right? You just go, oh, this is a bit dodgy. I don't know if you've done all that. You get an instinct for when something's about to kick off. Did you get that? I do. You just look at something. Well, that guy's going to just start causing trouble. You just feel it. He's had too much beer. Yeah, you can just feel it. Let's just go, because I'm not into all this sort of stuff. It's a waste of time. Nothing's going to be proved. It's something to talk about at school maybe on Monday morning, but I'd rather not bother. Thanks very much. So we bugger off.
Well, I was at a pub yesterday, and I'm not going to mention where it is because I don't want to get my head kicked in. But there was people clearly taking the white stuff up their nose, and they were completely off their head.
Talcum powder? That's not good. You rub that on your.
But they were completely. At that point I'm like, yeah, we're leaving. We're getting out of here. But I mean, they left the car park. One of them was on the bonnet as they were driving over a speed bump, and he's me thinking, yeah, please launch them. Anyway,
it sparks off through a crowd, doesn't it? It's really scary stuff. I mean, I was in a couple. There were a couple that kicked off, and I went, it's a bit like the COVID thing. You see all those people with masks, that spooky feeling you get, I'm never going to be able to reach these people. This is out of control, this space. This is not a movie. If they were to kick off, my best policy is to get away from here as quickly as possible. There's nothing I could do. And I don't know, I've been in a couple of, not personally, but I've been in places where it's kicked off really seriously. I thought, you watch it for 10 seconds, you go, this is insane, right? I mean, it's just mad. There's no coherence to it. It's just sort of like a spark that goes through usually a bunch of blokes and too much beer, right? Always that. And all the girls have to get out. They're all screaming, and people are, up north, it used to be just to sort of provoke or pretend to start a fight. People would go, have you drunk my pint? And then it evolved into, are you looking at my pint? To, are you thinking about looking at my pint? It was just, and it was like the most aggressive thing you could say. Are you thinking about looking and picking up my pint and stuff like that? And people would say things to you like that, and you go, I see you, mate. I've got to go, right? I've got to go because, I can see you're feeling a bit punchy, and I'm not going to be doing that sort of stuff. Thanks very much. Bye-bye. All that.
We need to bring a Falkham Hall pub into this, and we do need an actual building at some point, Paul, I think.
Yeah. We can put it in the background,
the Falkham Hall Arms, or whatever you want. I know Eric's got some slightly more vulgar names for it, which is a bit surprising.
I think the Queen's legs are very nice. I think that would be very nice. the Queen's
Not the
legs.
Queen's cheeks or anything like that.
No, open daily. I mean, let's face it, open every day of the week.
Didn't just do.
I think, actually, Eric, I do think you'd make sort of the great classic cheeky English landlord. That would be good. That would be pretty good.
Can I just?
That's another thing I really miss as well as landlords of the ones at that time. They were really different. We had a place where I lived called the Travellers, a big pub, Travellers Rest. It'd been a dive for years, right? About 1976, 77. I'm 17, right? I used to go to this youth club, which was pretty lively, and then we'd pile out and go to the pub about 9:30. And it got a massive refurb. But there was this wonderful sort of culture clash because Ernest, the guy who'd been the landlord there for donkey's years, and was really sort of a right old-fashioned Yorkshire guy. And he had a limp.
Ernest, I mean,
he had a limp from some combat injury or something, and he was a tough guy. And he had a big baseball bat behind the bar and all this kind of stuff. But it was incongruous with this modern plush building that they'd just built, right? It had Space Invaders in it and slot machines and all that kind of stuff. And it was fantastic, actually. And it was sort of like the big tart trap of the day. And everybody would go, and there'd be all these girls talking over it, and I fancy him and I don't fancy that. And we were all the blokes would be going, I need a cigarette or something like that. It was great fun, right? It was really, really good fun. And we felt very posh. But Ernest was just completely, he was like in a different world. He came from a different age. And that made it quite interesting, actually. And then we'd leg it off to other ones. Maybe you did the same sort of thing. I want to go up there. And if you meet an engaging landlord, it's amazing. We've got a pub down here, actually, called the Egremont. And the guy that owns it is called Greg. So it's always called the Gregremont, right? He's absolutely brilliant. He's one of the best landlords I've ever met. He's just naturally relaxed, charming. The pub is heaving. It's incredible. And they have bands on. And then, because a mate said to me, rolled into town last week on a Friday and said, come down to the pub. I went, yeah, okay, your wish is my command. So I met him down the pub about 9 o'clock. They had a band on. They were pretty good, and they were playing loud, but not too loud that it's painful. When they play too loud, I'm really prissy about this stuff. I want to talk to people, but I don't mind hearing you in the background. But if you're overpowering me, I can't connect with these people that I want to talk to.
It's uncomfortable.
He's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, apparently everywhere he's gone, he had a big pub in London. He's moved down here. Wherever he's gone, he's got something about him. The staff are all really fantastic. Can I help you? All this kind of stuff. They're lively. There's a lot of energy in the place. It's a brilliant atmosphere. And I thought, wow, it's sort of, this is a proper pub. It really is a proper pub. He's the landlord. Everybody knows that it's place. It's like, you're coming into my house and behave and I'll treat you great. And he bloody well does. It's fantastic. I'm very impressed. I told him that because he didn't know what I was talking about really, but it was good.
There was a pub in Royston that was called the Boar's Head, and it actually had a tree growing through the middle of it. It was years old, and it had an actual tree, and actually built the building around the tree.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, it's quite amazing it was. I mean, I think it was obviously dead, but they sort of left the roots in that and just sort of thought, well, chop it, there's a bit of wood, they actually built, and it was, Christ knows how many years old. But Aunt Sally said, I met up with some friends recently in a Wetherspoons. I ordered a cup of black tea and a slice of lemon. They gave me a wedge of dehydrated lemon. Not a single fresh lemon on the premises. Yes. And Marlene says nail bars are full of toxic chemicals.
Everything's full of toxic chemicals. Well, Holly just said there about the lager with sulfites, which probably contributes to the headaches. I mean, I know that if it's carbonated, it gets into your bloodstream quicker, I think it is. They fill it, and then obviously there's all the chemicals that go in. It's sulfites. I mean, I know from personal experience, I put it in the wine as well. It gives me massive headaches.
It does. Yes.
It's horrible stuff. Sorry, just to continue with that. I mean, but if we look at this, if we look at all of these, big chain. Well, it's not just that; it's everywhere. If you're drinking soft drinks, they're all full of sweeteners. If you're drinking things like lagers and wines, they're all full of sulfites and other chemicals. I mean, some of them have got so. What's the there's one. It's literally an ingredient for soap, and they put it inside as like old moot and stuff like that. I think that's one of them. That got,
Really?
But then you go for the food, and then they've got seed oils in, which are bad for you. You've got MSG, which is bad. You can't escape this. Not
I
easily.
agree with you. I agree with you. I mean,
you're dealing with toxins.
Well, I generally have black currants with Indian tonic water. Black currant and tonic water. That's quite nice drink because I'm always generally driving, so but I don't really like alcohol anyway. And the black currant is full of.
In there.
Sorry?
Go on. No.
Well, the black currant's probably got aspartame in it and loads of other crap. So you can't win. And I never have a cup of tea in a pub. They don't know how to make tea. It tastes like a cup of piss. So I have coffee. And that's generally a cup of piss as well. So, so there we go.
Whenever I'm in...
You're getting all the milk in it. So you're getting all this, this doctored... I've forgotten the word for it. It's all crap milk.
Yeah.
Go on,
you don't go to a pub for tea. I mean, come on. You shouldn't be going there for tea. I mean, it's completely daft, really, when you think about it. Whenever I'm asked what I want to drink, like last Friday, and the bartender's there, I go... can I have a flaming rum punch? No one knows how to make one. What? Oh, never mind. I'll have a pint of Guinness or whatever.
Pint, half a pint round here.
You want a flaming rum
£5.
punch or a creme de menthe? Ask for something exotic and totally complicated, like some really complex cocktail. What's that thing that Toulouse-Lautrec used to drink?
I don't know.
That's completely banned. You remember Toulouse-Lautrec, the old French painter, short guy, Can-Can, used to paint all the Can-Can things, those posters.
Yeah.
What's that thing? Absinthe.
Oh, I don't know.
That's it. That's what you asked for.
Yeah. Green fairy.
I'll have some absinthe. I mean, it's illegal, I think. You can't even sell it.
Is
literally, it cooks your brain. It's unbelievable stuff. That's what did for him. He's a short fella.
Wormwood, isn't it? The main ingredient's wormwood, and if you have too much, if you mix that with alcohol, apparently it gives you hallucinations and stuff. So
turns you into a Frenchman.
Briefly, mate. They brought it back about 15 years ago, but they knocked it down from, I think it was 90% alcohol volume to about 45, but it didn't last long. They took it back off the shelves not long after that. So, but that's an interesting one. You could technically make it yourself if you know where to get wormwood from. And mix it with some neat alcohol, some vodka or something like that. You can still make it. I wouldn't advise it. But
I think I know more about these drinks than I do drink them. I don't really drink the stuff. I really got into drinking gin and tonic a few years ago, but I haven't bought a bottle of gin in ages because the price keeps going up. But just one, you're supposed to have it about 4:30. It's colonial. Oh, it's about that time, isn't it? I think it's time for a G&T. Deirdre, could you get the lemon? That kind of thing, Can I read one out here from Aunt Sally?
This you're using for? I mean, so far we've got Ernest, we've got Deirdre. Come on. I mean,
these are good proper British names. This is what we want.
Ethel.
Fiona.
Ethel as well. Yeah,
Daphne.
Okay, fair enough.
Sally's quite a nice English girl's name, and Aunt Sally writes, she's that one. Yeah. Were you by any chance one of the new romantics of the early 80s? Oh, Aunt Sally. Them that followed the band Spandau Ballet. They were very dapper. I actually wasn't. I did not like the new romantic era of music at all. No. I was completely hacked off with it. After 1977, I detested nearly all popular music because I hated punk. I couldn't be doing with it.
Oh, I hated that as well.
Then the New Romantics came along. I thought it was fey, affected, piffle. I didn't like Spandau Ballet. I found their songs atrocious, absolutely awful things. They were all about preening and dressing up. But I just happened to buy an old dinner jacket suit for 10 quid because it was there at Oxfam and it fitted me perfectly. And they were the most comfortable pair of trousers that I've ever had in my life. They had so much rummage for the scrummage that they were just a delight to wear. I could have worn them forever. They wore out, of course, but they were just fantastic. And they had those old, they had the bit at the back of the trousers on the cloth that comes up with buttonholes for putting your braces over. Those trousers, you ever seen them at the back? They were really old-fashioned. They were absolutely fantastic. They were like zoot suit trousers, really baggy. They were wonderful. And they sort of flared out, and it's like a sort of 1950s zoot suit type really, God, they were fantastic. And I thought, I really like this. It's about the only time I've ever sort of gone, yeah, I'll get dressed up. I'll look all right. But it was pretty cool. Still like waistcoats, though. They're pretty cool, aren't they?
Yeah.
But no, I wasn't a Spandau Ballet fan, Aunt Sally. That wasn't my era of music. I was still listening to progressive rock, I suppose you would call it. But I was into a lot of blues music by then. So I was listening to all sorts of weird stuff from Texas, from bands that nobody had ever heard of.
I'm sorry, I'm looking in the chat here, and I think, there seems to be a lot of absinthe makers. I mean, we've got 3 there that have just said they make their own absinthe. I'm just wondering. There
you go. I've struck a chord.
Here?
This probably explains why some of the comments are the way they are. They're all popped up on absinthe. We do the show, and they're all having a great time. We're missing out. We should all have a glass. I've never drunk it, by the way. What's it like? Is it nice?
It illegal? I mean, I'm assuming that it's illegal because I've not seen it in the shops for a long time. But I mean, we've got how many?
It was for a while. Yeah, it was illegal. Yeah, they banned it.
So I mean, right. So for those who are making their own absinthe, I'm going to ask a stupid question. If you can just put in the chat, just briefly, what do you put in it? And if you do drink it as well, do you get the hallucinations and things like that? So just as a curiosity for the 3 of you that have mentioned it. It's again, I've
3 of those, quite a lot, isn't it? That's a rush.
It is a chat where there's only like 10 people active. It's a bit. I mean, we're clearly.
Well, Aunt Sally says, "I make my own absinthe, very pure. It's fab, far out."
Barefoot foraging, right?
Yeah, barefoot foraging. And when did you see the pink elephants going along a tightrope? Holding,
it's fab, though.
Umbrellas.
I believe you. I bet it is fab. It's got such a nice word, isn't it? Absinthe. Isn't it the thing that poets used to take? They all used to get blasted on that. And, I think of absinthe, and it makes
the
me
heart
think
grow
of
fonder.
Sherlock Holmes taking cocaine. Isn't that what he was on? Didn't Sherlock Holmes take cocaine?
I think so.
All these things were accepted in medical. Oh, I just take a bit of cocaine and that sorts everything out. And even Coca-Cola was cocaine, wasn't it? It was cocaine.
Cola.
Oh, we've had to take the cocaine out because a few prissy people have complained.
But earlier we had some recommendations. We had Sean Hamer that said, use beeswax candles. Most other candles are made of petroleum.
I do, yeah. Have you looked them up? They're worth. Now that's the thing to really get into is selling beeswax candles. They cost a bomb over here, but I found a supplier in the States, and even with the shipping, they were about 2/3 the price. And the shipping's stupid now. That was about a year and a half ago. Yeah, and I bought a box load. But yeah, beeswax candles is what we want. We need to encourage bees with. What's that plant I've got to grow that encourages them? Violet, is it? What we were talking about the other day?
My lavender attracts a load of bees. Yeah, and they're all over it.
So we all need to grow lavender, set up bee things, get lots of honey, make loads of beeswax candles, read famous 18th century Italian poetry in the winter, drinking absinthe. You get the picture. You get your pocket watch out, your Falkham Hall pencil, you're wearing a waistcoat, right, and you're shouting at the children in a stern voice. And we get some order back into this place.
I've got my pocket watch already.
Are you the white rabbit? Are you the white rabbit, Eric? Is that what's going on?
He's showing up as
Berlin Olympics, 1936.
Yeah.
And it's.
I didn't realise you were old enough to compete in that, Eric. Were you around there? You were in the Berlin Olympics. What's going on?
When I went to school, Queen Victoria was on the throne. And it took a long time for her to get off of it. Now,
yes! We need some toilet humour around here. I've been missing it for the last 30
Now, wet leaves block a certain thing.
Yeah, no, sorry, read that first. I'm going to pick up someone else's comment.
Wet leaves block a certain thing I can't mention on YouTube beautifully, hence pollarding. Yes, I've got a joke about wet leaves.
What is pollarding, please? Please explain to a thicko. What's pollarding?
As far as I'm aware, it's where they chop the top of the trees off. So when you see the trees and there's no canopy on them, there's no like.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's blocking the 5G signals, right? Because it's short range nonsense, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now you heard of the story about the woman sitting on a bus who's dying to break wind. She's absolutely busting, and she thinks, well, I can't. She's a bit of a lady, you see. And she's sitting on the seats. You remember the seats that used to sit over the wheels where you sat opposite each other at the back? So she's sitting there, you see. And she thinks, well, there's a hill coming up later on. As the driver changes gear, I'll time it to let it go then and people won't hear it, you see. Well, she mistimes it and there's this loud, real pan cracker all the way through the bus, you see. And she goes blood red because this happened in the sort of 1950s. Very ladies. To hide her embarrassment, she says, "Conductor, have you a map of the route?" He says, "No, madam, but we can stop the bus and get a handful of leaves if you like." So it's terrible. Anyway, by the way, sorry, yeah.
No,
I was going to say, do you know what the time is? It's 11:10, and we've been on for three and a quarter hours.
I've got to be honest with you, mate. I'm enjoying this. I'm in no rush to if you two are all right. Continue.
Well, I thought this show finished at 1 o'clock in the morning, doesn't it? Isn't it a 5 hour? I've got my sandwiches here. I've got my little electric blanket. I've got some absinthe rocking up. I've just ordered some online. There's a bloke going to come round from Deliveroo. Right. Midnight absinthe deliveries. Yeah.
Now
so this is interesting. Yeah, go and read that one out.
Yeah,
Chris,
my recipe: gin, fennel seeds, wormwood, star anise, anise.
Yeah, it is an aniseed as far as star anise.
Yeah, and sweet Sicily.
She is sweet. Sicily's lovely. She's sweet.
Cures almost everything, including parasites, gas, and flu.
I know the wormwood. That's like an anti, like a dewormer, an anti-parasitical.
Yes.
It tastes. I mean, the taste of that is horrible. If you put boiling water with it, my God, it's
Barefoot
like
Forager. Can we get you to make this in large quantities, and then we'll label it up as I don't know, produced from the Falkham Fop or something like that. I don't know, the Falkham Forager.
That sounds terrible,
the Falkham Forager, right?
Oh, sorry about that.
Handcrafted. With all that stuff in, and then we can flog it, and we can all become millionaires, and then we can all go and live on an island. Oh, we already do.
Am I correct in saying, Paul, that you've got your outlet as well for a certain product as well? Could we not, market it?
Yeah. What you mean, nicotine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was funnily enough, I was telling Holly about this the other day. In fact, 2 minutes. There you go. Proof.
I've got it. I have them in my mouth throughout the show. I sometimes make slight gurgling noises when it goes down the wrong way.
To do a bit of advertising for you here. I don't know if this is legal or actually, let's call it a sponsor. There we go. So this is Paul English's.
Yeah.
It is Europe. Yeah. So this.
It's not mine directly, but I'm an augmenter. I'm just involved. Yes, absolutely.
You're involved. Well, let's go for that. So it's an interest. I'm not going to advertise it because I don't know what the laws are on tobacco. I'm not going to.
You're not advertising it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. We're talking about something that's very good. It's completely lawful.
There we go.
It's it's the same texture as a Trebor mint. So if anybody's actually held Trebor mints or Polo mints, it's like that, and you can snap them, and they dissolve in your gum. You put them in your sort of between your teeth and your gum, and it just dissolves quietly. And if you've not taken it before, you need to build up slowly. And what it does is it kills off loads of parasites in your system. Although I didn't say that. No, I can't say that. Dr. Brian Ardis, who's definitely worth looking up, BryanArdis. He has a lot of things. In fact, many have bombed through on the Telegram channel for my site, on the Paul English Telegram channel. He's a brilliant communicator. He's a guy that tunneled into COVID and came up with the view, which I subscribe to. That's how I'm going to express it. That it's not bats, it's snake venom. It's snake venom that's part of the problem, and they've put venom all over the place. And there's a whole sort of raft of information, little videos, which cannot be used for promotional purposes because we can't make any claims about it. This is for you to do your own research and go and have a look. I can only tell you that I'm convinced, but that doesn't mean anything. It's down to you as individuals. But it's a tremendous thing, and it naturally occurs in all sorts of plants, just not in a sort of convenient form like that. For example, it's in all the nightshades. So people have been told, don't eat nightshades. Well, peppers and tomatoes, potatoes. Yeah. What's the other one? The big purple thing. The Americans call them aubergines.
Aubergines,
I love aubergines, right? And so lots in aubergines. It's good. It improves mental acuity. And the reason I kind of got into it is that, yeah, it is. It improves your mental acuity. It improves it's very good. and I'm a consumer of it with a view that I don't want to get dementia and Alzheimer's later on. It's a preventative long term for that, because it keeps all your Allegedly, it's very good for that. And of course, you may have noticed that they're going to try and ban it by 2030 in America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK, or England, I should say, because the UK doesn't exist. It's a political nonsense. So that tells you that it's probably, in my view, my reverso logic, which is based usually on the proper stuff, that it's likely to be good. And it's, okay, so I'm biased, but I think I've been taking it now for about a year. It can also, the other thing, there's also funny little moments where people I've met have tried it out. There was a guy who was a vapor. I was talking to him, and his girlfriend was there next to him. And he came and said, "Oh, this is pretty cool." And of course, one of the things I say is that, I mean, I'm not into vaping. I think it looks a bit silly. I would never be doing that, but I know that people are into. I just think it looks a bit thingy, and you're sort of. But with this, nobody even knows you're taking it. First of all, nobody even knows you're taking it. That's the first thing. It's completely discreet, right? No one has a clue unless you want to tell them that you are. So it's totally discreet. It's not like what's the other thing that people get? Pouches. With pouches, you have to spit them out afterwards. You don't do that with this. So you don't have to be vulgar. You don't have to spit it out. The minty ones are good because they make your breath smell nice if it's a bit slightly, not where you want it.
Any sugar
very attractive. Yeah, it makes you very attractive and makes people want to kiss you from the opposite sex. Allegedly, apparently, according to the back of the tin, which is not written on the back of the tin. I'm just making all this up. And it relaxes you and focuses. Well, this is what it's done to me. That's what it's done to me. Anyway, there was this guy. He came up. He said, "Oh, this is pretty cool. I'm a vapor and all that kind of stuff." So I said, "Yeah, okay." And his girlfriend was there, and she says, "Could I try some?" So he said, "Yeah, I don't see why not." So she gets a whole one. I say, "Have you ever consumed nicotine before?" She says, "No." I said, "Right, well, don't put a whole one in." Right, yeah, let me, because you can snap them into quarters or thirds or whatever, and you should start off small.
Just to, not an example, but yeah.
So you snap them off. So I said to her, "Look, if you're not saying before, there's 3 things that could possibly happen, right?" I said, "There's nothing to be worried about." I said, "You could feel rather lightheaded, right? It's a bit like, when if you've ever smoked a cigarette for the first time, that you go, oh, you feel a bit woozy and all that." I said, that could happen. I said, also, you might get a sort of constriction in your throat, I said, it might feel like you can't swallow properly to start off with. I said, it's not severe, but you might feel that. I said, and you can get hiccups. She said, okay. So she takes it. About a minute later, she says, "Oh, I feel slightly lightheaded." I said, "Oh, okay." Then she goes, "Oh, my throat feels a bit tight." I said, "Yeah." And then she hiccuped. She had the lot. She did everything. Right, in about 2 minutes. And he's laughing. Her boyfriend's killing himself. He's killing himself laughing as she's doing all this. And she was fine about it. It's great. I said, "Well, at least I'm telling you the truth about this. That's what that can happen." I said, "You just went in for the whole lot in one go. Well done." So it's pretty good. But but
have you just convinced her subconsciously to do all the things? You could have convinced her that sneezing would have come after that, and she might have. You could test the waters.
Well, I was swinging Eric's pocket watch in front of her eyes and hypnotising her at the same time, and speaking one of those Svengali voices. "You may get hiccups. You might not get hiccups, but you may. Look into my eyes. Look into my eyes." And she got everything. It was quite funny, but it's pretty cool stuff. We kind of. Well, I think look, allegedly.
I've tried it, mate, and so not that I'm advertising it or anything, but
it's kind of you to bring it up. I've not. I don't push anything much.
Where really is it obtainable from? How do you obtain it?
You go to a website called Nicotonic.
.co.uk?
Nicotonic.uk. If you're in America, you go to knickknacks.com, but Nicotonic.
N-I-C-K-T-O.
No, N-I-C-N-I-C-O-T-O-N-I-C. It's a good word, Nicotonic.
And what is it, .co.uk or .com?
No, just .uk. nicotonic.uk. And for those what is interested, and it's basically, if you take nicotine pouches, it falls into that whole thing. If you're a nicotine pouch person or anything, it's completely fine. This is, it's okay to consume these things.
Do you know
not making any wild, No,
I was just going to say that. Right. So I used to have like friends in Sweden, and they sent me something called snus, which is like little nicotine. I mean, it didn't taste very nice, but there was two versions of it, and you could either roll it yourself, and it's just like it used to come in a little packet like that. But it was they rolled it up and put it under their lips, but obviously that gives you a bit of a discoloured teeth and stuff. And they also had a version which came in little packets. By the way, this is years ago. I think it's illegal now. This is about 4 years ago, that maybe longer, that I did this. But I suspect it's like the nicer, cleaner, tastier version of that in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
I think so. I'm glad you said it, because I suppose coming from me, it's all people have got to take what I say with a pinch of snuff. No, with a pinch of salt or whatever, in a way. But I can. Oh, thanks, Eric. That's really it. And I was going to sort of get into sort of pushing it a little bit more, but I'm kind of just quiet about these things. But that's really what it is. We think it's the most tasteful way of doing it, and I really do, because no one knows. You're not sort of demonstrating it at all, and it gives you. I found it just gives me more mental energy and focus and stuff, without going bonkers on the whole stuff. And it's genuinely, according to Dr. Brian Ardis, you'll have to go and do it, but we got into it there was a study done at Houston University that he's talked about, I think 2016. They took 30 people with Parkinson's, dementia, Alzheimer's, all the same route. It's to do with tendrils or something, but it's like a protein that builds up in the head. It doesn't clear, and it begins to diminish the electrical connections in the head, and that's why you become forgetful, and then you can't remember, and it's that degenerative disease. And they put them on 24 milligrams a day. Now, these lozenges here, the basic one's 6 milligrams, which, if you've not taken it before, will be, you shouldn't do it all in one go. Just build up slowly. What we say to people, if they. Yeah, well, it is. If you're not used to it, it is. It's sort of like, I think I'll go out for a drink and I'll have a triple whiskey. No, just start. Don't do that.
Start with one shot.
Just ease your way in. No rush, right? Because it'll put you off for life. You'll be throwing up for the. So it's not as intense as that. But they put them on 24 milligrams of nicotine every day. They use nicotine patches, which you have to be careful of because they've got other things in them. And he talks about this, whereas this is absolutely pure, this stuff. It's just, there's nothing else in it. And after 2 years of 24 milligrams a day, all the symptoms of all of these people disappeared, according to Ardis, according to a communication by Dr. Brian Ardis. You'll have to go off and check that.
Suggested in the comments, just to, So some people may have suggested that the evidence or the statistics suggest that is the case.
Absolutely. And that study is available from Houston University. He's referenced it many times. I think I found it at one point about a year back when I was looking at this stuff. And I just thought, this is pretty cool, really. So it's inexpensive. It's about £7 a tin or something like that. I can't remember now, but it's about that. And a tin will last you. I'm a salesman now, aren't I? There's 15 lozenges in it. But if you're going through, you won't even go through one a day to start off with.
Well, you break them up, don't you? So.
Yeah. I mean, it's the price of a pint. Isn't a pint of beer £7 now or something? I don't know what the bloody hell it is.
Yeah, it's not.
But it's sort of luddy. It's £5 and £6 everywhere you go. It's sort of nuts for beer. But it's good. And my mornings are, instead of having a coffee and a cigarette, not that I was ever a smoker, I have a coffee and one of these is chugging away inside, and I feel pretty groovy. So that's me.
I'm feeling groovy.
Yeah.
But, anyway, thank you very much for coming on. But you see, I need to hit the hay because I'm feeling a bit tired.
I thought we just got started. Oh,
Chris,
what you need, Chris, is you need a knick-knack, Chris. If you had one of them, you'd be fine.
I'll have a knick-knack, nicky-nocky-no. There we go. That's bloody.
Remember, you've got to burn the candle at both ends, particularly if it's a beeswax one. That's what you got to do. Get up early, stay up late, work like hell, shout a lot. That's what you need to do.
I was just going to say, so what Chris is basically saying is the show now continues over on the Eric Von Essex after show, which goes on until 4:00 in the morning. So, no,
Yes.
Sorry, Chris.
That's all right.
I'll say that.
I don't mind.
We bring on
fantastic
music and the
show.
dancing. I do think, though, Barefoot Forager, you need to get into. I'd buy that. I'd buy your Absinthe.
You were going to say,
The Falkham Forager, that could be written on the
the
label. The label could look so cool. What colour is it? I've always had a thought that it's green or something. Is it a green colour when it's
Yeah,
finished?
it's green.
Absinthe?
I'm pretty sure it's green. Yeah, it is green.
I've never
seen
drunk
it.
many
Or is
things
it,
that
is
are
it
green. Have
because
you?
it used to be in a green bottle? I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean,
Yeah.
Was it a square bottle as well? I think it's a square green bottle, if my memory serves me correct. That was Absinthe. Yeah. Because we used to have a pisshead in the office who used to drink stuff like that and whiskey.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, somebody said that they don't like Pernod because Pernod's awesome. I've got to be careful how I say that these days in case it gets mistaken. But fennel and things like that, it's good to put that in anything. I'll drink it.
Oh, I quite like. Yes, I used to quite like a Pernod, but I can't drink much of it. It's very sticky and quite intense, isn't it? But it is
What about
good.
that Greek? What about that Greek drink? The taste of peppermint, I think it is.
Oh, ouzo. Were you on about
Ouzo.
I thought that was ouzo. It's disgusting. I'm not.
I'll tell you what I
not
can't
fan of that.
stand is feta cheese. To me, it's like eating phlegm. I can't stand it. I don't like olives either. But
You
that's
don't
just
like
me.
olives?
No.
I'd never tried. An
I
olive
could
until
probably.
Christmas.
I could eat myself to death on olives.
Really?
Absolutely love them. Not green ones, black ones. Oh yeah, they're just absolutely. I love black olives. Absolutely good. In fact, if you're looking around for something to eat, and you haven't got much in the house, but you got some cheese and some bread, cheese on toast, and then you dice all the olives up, put a bit of salt and pepper on, put the olives on top. It's just like a pizza.
That's
It's like a
posh
pizza
cheese
for
on toast,
tuppence.
though, isn't it?
Brilliant. What's that?
There we go.
Posh cheese on toast. That's the.
It is, yeah. I am a bit posh. Sometimes I go, I'm going to be a bit posh now. I'm going to put some black olives on and all that kind of stuff.
But
Eric does look a little bit the worse for wear.
It does,
It's
it does,
it's
yeah.
not looking good.
But,
It's not looking good here, Eric.
well, it's mentioning olives, but I mean, when you say you're posh, I mean, do you get out of the bath to do a wee and that type of thing? That's posh, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I'm glad you didn't ask Aunt Sally that. This would have been very, very awkward.
Stand up and do
Yeah.
Well, I haven't had a bath for years. I have a shower, so there we go.
Anyway, I thought you were a bit off there, mate. But
It's been a fantastic show, and I'm feeling a bit knackered because I was up about 5 this
They
morning.
are
broken
getting
a record,
longer and
though.
longer and longer, your shows. Look, we're at
Yes.
3 hours and 20 minutes. 3.5 hours now.
3.5 hours. It's been fantastic, and we've got where are we now? We've got more.
Ollie's just answered your question about the colour, by the way.
It's
Has she?
dyed green with chemicals.
That doesn't
Thank you,
surprise me.
Barefoot Forager.
Yes.
But I wonder if it was naturally green. I just always had this idea that it was naturally green for some reason. Not that I saw any of it when I was young.
Hereditary Skepticism says absinthe clear until mixed with water.
Do you know what the nicest short or spirit I ever drank? Oh, this is not much of a story, but I'll tell it anyway. So Cockspurs make rum, don't they? You know Cockspurs rum? You know of it. It's a brand, right? A brand
Yeah.
of rum.
Take your word for it.
I was over at someone's house, and the guy there, parent of one of the people that was there, had got it in the house. He said, "Do you want some of this?" But it wasn't. It was a RSVOP. It was a limited run. 5,000 bottles had been made of this rum, and it was the colour of lager. It was light, very, very bright and golden coloured. Fantastic looking colour. And so he gave me some of that, and it was just amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I like rum. I don't like whiskey. I can't drink whiskey. I like brandy. I think they're distilled in a different way. If you can drink whiskey, brilliant. But this was just wow. And I'm tasting it again. It was absolutely fabulous.
So what we basically need to open a brewery. The Falkham Hall brewery is now an established principle that we need to build upon and take it from there, I think. Sorry,
And if
Chris,
you
I
don't
know-
want to, it's all right. If you don't want to go take your clothes to a dry cleaner, I don't because I generally wash them in a washing machine. You can use vodka and spray vodka over the clothing, and it will clean them up. Seriously, and that's what
Really?
they do. Yes, that's what they do. That's what the staff do at theatres. They don't take their
Just don't
clothes
smoke
into.
near it.
No, they just spray
Until
it
it's
with
dried
vodka.
off. Have you
and
ever become slightly inebriated on vodka, or even considerably inebriated on just nothing but vodka?
I've never drunk vodka, so I wouldn't know. So I don't know.
Well, it's.
Well, okay.
I remember going to a vodka party, and everybody was told 3 weeks prior, we're having a vodka party. You had to bring a bottle of vodka, and I'd never even drunk this stuff before. As many people will know, you can put anything in vodka, drop it in the bottle, and the vodka will absorb the taste of it. So Fox's Glacier Mints is a common one. You put that in.
Interesting.
People put Rolos in. I think I put Rolos in mine, which are great. It makes it all caramelly. So there are all these different flavours of vodka that were at the, and there were 40 people there, so there were 40 bottles of it. It's just swimming in vodka, right? And I remember drinking it most of the night like everybody else did, probably with a mixer or something. And I did become inebriated, I have to tell you this. But it was the weirdest state of inebriation I've ever had, because my body was drunk. My body was not really working very well, but my mind was crystal clear. It was just the weirdest thing. I could talk okay, but my body was moving around a bit like a person who's had a bit too much to drink, right? Not badly. I wasn't crashing into the furniture or anything, but I went, oh, I'm feeling a bit woozy. But I was crystal clear as I was communicating my inebriated physiological state, but my brain was working perfect. I said, this is the weirdest thing ever. And because it's so pure, no hangover in the morning. Nothing.
That sounds
and I'm prone to hangovers. I didn't have a hangover. I thought, I better watch out for this. I could get into this. This would be bad. So that's a long time ago, but that was... Anyway, we just degenerated into a sort of drug and booze-infested sort of pig swill conversation towards the end here, haven't we? We've just gone mad. We've gone mad, I tell you.
I mean, the chat livened up massively as soon as we started talking about, substances.
Yeah,
and,
fantastic.
God knows what. Hey, so
it's been a fantastic.
Well, maybe for
evening. Thank
next
you very
Monday,
much.
what we need to do is advise everybody to get a tipple ready and just have a drink on hand. I've got red wine here.
Why
so maybe,
don't we?
Maybe
That's
it's
a
an
good
online
idea.
booze up. It's an
Why
online
not have
extended
a first online booze up at the Queen's Legs at Falkham? So there we go.
What I'm going to say is get the
I don't know whether
Queen's Legs will be open next Monday.
I don't know if I want to go into the Queen's Legs, to be quite honest. It's a bit worrying, Eric.
Yes. I was going to say there's a damp patch in the entrance, so you got to be careful. Yeah, but it's all right.
I think the name for the pub as the Falkham Forager for the pub is great. It's a lovely name for a pub. I'd go down the Falkham Forager.
Yes.
It's great. Yes. I can see
the
sign
Ship and
now.
Shovel. I think the Ship and Shovel is quite a good one.
I mean, I'm dying to say something, but I'm not going to do it on air. That would.
Yes, come to the Ship and Shovel. I still think the Queen's Legs are best. Yeah, I even Aunt Sally likes the Queen's Legs. You know, say they're open every day of the week.
I don't know. Do we have to be Vulgarians 24/7? Is that
it's not vulgar. It's the name of a pub. The pub is open. What's wrong with that? Open daily.
You've been taking far too many double entendre tablets, Eric.
It's only dirty if you think it's dirty. It's not dirty at all. It's quite nice.
Then it's dirty because everybody thinks it's dirty. Everybody.
Yes, come down to the Queen's Legs.
Dear me.
I mean, if you think about what you've just said there, you've just made it 10 times worse, haven't you?
Yeah.
Come down the Queen's Legs. I mean, come on,
Swiftly
you
moving
just set
on.
your own fucking trap here.
What? Hey, you know what? I'll tell you one thing. If we could get, I think the idea of Monday night at the pub at the Falkham, at the Queen's Legs at Falkham Hall is great. Maybe I don't know where we could get it, but couldn't we do a pub quiz with everyone? How do you do that? It'd be great. We want to have a pub
good
quiz.
Idea. Yes.
I've got one of those Top Trumps pub quizzes where we could use that as a question. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be great fun.
Yeah, here's one. What's brown, steaming, and comes out of cows backwards?
Oh, good Lord. Go on.
Brown.
Yeah,
no,
steaming.
I know. Isle of Wight Ferry.
Correct.
I don't want to answer this, do I? I'm not answering this.
That's the Isle of Wight Ferry.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
It's the Isle of Wight Ferry.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
What can go up a chimney down but can't go down a chimney up?
was better though.
Oh, yes. What can go up a chimney down but can't go down a chimney up? An umbrella. An umbrella. You can go up a chimney down, but you can't go down a chimney up. So there we go. So there's lots of things like that.
Is this going to be on the quiz next week? I'm going to remember this.
It's just we have to revise on this stuff.
And if anybody, we're going to have to structure it, because if you win, I think you need to get a bottle of Falkham Forager Absinthe.
Or
even
a
though it's not
Wonder
been made
Pencil.
yet.
I've got to ask Holly: are we mixing the Falkham Forager Absinthe with the plum?
It could win a Falkham Hall pencil.
And stirring it with a Falkham pencil. It's a safe sex pencil though, because it's got a rubber on the end, so it's we're all right. We're okay there. Don't stick it up your nose though.
Eric, what were you doing then? What were you doing?
I think sometimes, Paul,
that was visual comedy. Eric was doing something, you listeners on the radio, and it was very funny and weird. That was very strange.
It's the pick of Eric, isn't it? Eric's pick.
What is it? 100 uses for a fucking pencil.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's a pretty good crack, this pub, because we've not even had a drink tonight.
No.
You can't go. If you go out, you don't have as good a time in the pub not having a drink as you do here. It's cheap as chips. Rock up, sit down. You don't even need to. Yeah, I've got some water, but I've drunk it all about 20 minutes ago. But yeah.
Anyway, I better, because I'm going to collapse in a minute. I'm absolutely knackered. It's a fantastic show.
You know what you need. Sorry, you need to get a bell. Right, like they have at the bar, and ring it.
Last orders.
Right, last orders at the bar, and then the shout is,
ding, ding.
Haven't you all got beds to be going home to, and all that kind of stuff? Oh, you're already at home, all that kind of stuff. My mate at parties, when parties have gone on a bit long, he'd go around ringing a bell to get everybody out and go, right, come on, clear off. Haven't you all got pubs to be going to? This is like 1 o'clock in the morning. That's how you say, drive them out, get out. Come on.
It's like the bloke. It's like a bloke goes into a topless pub when a woman's there, topless, you see, and she's a bit of a dumbo, and every time the barman walks past her, he licks her tit. So it's the first trick, and he goes, anyone the barman walks past, he licks her tit again. So when the barman goes down to the cellar, he says to the barman, he says, "Excuse me," he said, "Do you mind him licking your tit?" He says he's perfectly okay. He's got a liquor license. Sorry.
All right, that's fine. Right.
I think you might end up getting barred for that. There's a very good chance this will go towards be put towards in front of the committee. You may well end up getting barred for telling lewd jokes after hours. That's outrageous. I'm shocked, Eric.
I mean, it's deplorable behaviour. You should be ashamed of yourself,
I know. Liquor license, yeah.
Anyway, fortunately, this is going out on YouTube and they won't ban it. I think it's absolutely fine.
Yes.
Yeah, nothing to worry about whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm
anyway,
sure
folks,
be fine.
It's been great tonight. I've really enjoyed it, but I'm really knackered. It's getting on to 12 o'clock midnight. We'll have to continue this on. The Falkham Hall Monday show continues next week.
Thank you,
Eric. By the way, hang on a minute. You're going to Hackney next week, aren't you?
Yeah, I won't be here next Monday. I'm going to fish. What? You mean I shouldn't go?
Well, a better idea. Why not a live broadcast from there, linked up?
Yeah, except I'll be full of absinthe and won't be able to sort all the gear out.
No,
let's be honest about
I might
it.
well be actually, but there you go.
I haven't gone out in public for a long time, so I'm quite excited, quite giddy.
Steady on now.
Oh, London, isn't it amazing? And all that.
Yeah, it's
kind
going
of
to
stuff.
bleed Hackney though. But the trouble is, you're going to park your car there. But will you have the wheels there when you come back? Will it be on 4 bloody bricks? That's the question.
I don't know. Is that what they're doing here? They won't take wheels off this car. It's not the sort of car that's going to attract anybody to want to steal it. It's like a fridge on wheels. Yeah,
any bleeding thing, yeah. Oh, crumbs. Well, Hackney, I mean, let's put it this way. I was tempted to go by train, but when I saw it's a fair distance from the station, I thought, I'm not walking around there at bleeding 10 o'clock at night. You know, I mean, it's not a safe place to be, I don't think.
Are the good people of Hackney decent and upstanding English types?
No, they moved out about 10 years ago. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, I'm shocked.
Yes.
Are you really?
I won't see honest chimney sweeps and chirpy lads up
Hello.
and down and
Dick Van Dyke lookalikes.
yeah,
You know,
and
hello, Mary
stockbrokers. I won't
Poppins.
say any of that. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't think so.
Good
no.
evening, fair sir. I won't hear any of that sort of conversation.
No.
It's going to be a bit different, is it?
No,
Oh,
but
what a
no,
pity.
they say, was it 3 minutes walk from the station? Bullshit, it's 10 minutes walk from the station. 10 minutes walk around there, bloody hell. Yeah, I don't think
Well,
so.
I'm all
Safe place.
naive. I don't know what's it. I'll just go, oh, isn't London amazing?
Thanks.
Yes,
That'd be great.
yes.
A naive northerner who had been transplanted to the south inadvertently found himself in Hackney last night, where he was hacked to pieces, which is why it's now called Hackney.
Hackney, yes.
Well, I
Yes.
hope not.
Well, I think they should rename it Shithole. Sorry.
Oh, that one's already taken for Teesside. So
Yes. I mean, if it's shit you want, come to Hackney. There's plenty of shit. It's real. Yeah, bloody hell. But hang on. Aunt Sally said if he's going to Hackney, he likely won't find any place to park, to be honest. I worked in Hackney from 1989 to 2004, and it was grim and rough. It's been tarted up now. Yeah, Aunt Sally, is it wise to walk around there after the hours of, say, about 9:30? I'm not sure. But I was going to take my folding bike with me. So, but because you're allowed on, yeah, I was, well, it's only a cheapo one, but because you're allowed on with the transport with a folding bike. Seriously, yeah, you can go.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, you're right about the parking, Aunt Sally, but there are these wonderful apps and sites online where you can book your parking like 10 days in advance. Because lots of people that have actually got some drive space rent out their space for private parking. It's the only way to do it.
Right,
If I don't get one, I won't go, but I'm due to book one tomorrow. And all that kind of stuff. And that was the last they saw of him. He never came back. We wondered what had happened to him. But the last we heard, he'd gone up to Hackney. That was in 2025. And we never heard of him ever again.
So it's a beautiful. I said beautiful. I wouldn't say the word beautiful and Hackney go together, basically. I mean, unless they've got a white stick and guide dog. I don't know, but
it's very encouraging that you're sending them away with all these images.
it's a shithole. Well, it always was. And hang on. Aunt Sally said Hackney's been gentrified. It's nothing like I knew years ago, although I would never go back. I've driven through and it's all 20 miles per hour.
Well, they've smart cityed it.
They fart spitted it.
I told you it's gentrified. There'll be Dick Van Dyke types there and everybody, good evening, fine sir. And all that kind of stuff. It's going to be
Singing in the rain.
marvellous.
Well, before they rob you.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
Would you mind
Well,
if
they're
I
going to have
partake
to
in...
really work hard to rob me. This is the thing. What, you're going to take me trousers? That's about... Yep, we want them too. Oh, bloody hell. No.
Well, all inclusive.
Yes.
Yep.
Anyway, look, it's 11:45. I'm just about flaked out. I better go.
You're mad, you, Eric, doing all these long shows. We come up, we just expect a couple of hours, and you hold us here right through to the quarter to bloody midnight. It's outrageous.
Well, he just keeps
I've never
swinging
heard
on,
anything
doesn't he?
like it.
Anyway, it's been
And
great
Nathan
show.
looks so lively, doesn't he? Doesn't he look lively? And I'm
very
getting
perky.
lively. I don't know what's going on. That midnight radio.
Hang on a
what is
minute.
it? Sort of 10 till 1 in the morning. I could probably start doing that.
Yeah. I think Patrick may have been on. I didn't notice him on the lower level there. Oops, sorry, Patrick. Oops. I better say sorry to him tomorrow morning.
No, bring him
Anyway.
on. Let's do another half hour. Come on, we'll take it through to midnight. Don't muck about.
Yeah. No, he's not on anymore. He's gone.
Oh, we're starting to lose people from the chat now. So
Yeah,
right,
it's starting to go
DJ
down.
Had enough.
is gone.
Yeah.
Right,
Later,
okay,
everyone.
right, okay. Let's do this properly. I'm going to do your favor. Right. Thank you for everyone in chat. Fantastic comments as always, and thank you, for hosting us. And it has been terrific. And pleasure as always, Paul and Chris and everyone in there.
Thank you.
Likewise,
Anything you want to say,
Nathan.
Paul?
Likewise, Chris.
Thank you.
Especially the alcoholics, the drug pushers, and the tobacconists. But apart from that,
Yeah. Well,
great.
always
crowd.
remember, stick your old thumb up, and please subscribe. And whatever happens, have a bloody good laugh and good night. And here we go. Hang on.